Welcome to DAX Machina, with your hosts, Naoma Finn, Steve Wildman Munrotis, and D.A. Roberts. Join us as we explore writing, books, authors, and all things horror. We will delve into the sightings, reports, encounters, and tales of monsters. We will also explore the writings of D.A. Roberts along with others in the horror genre. We will investigate the possibilities that monsters may not be safely locked away in the pages of books. They might just walk among us even now. Grab some popcorn and lock the doors. It's going to be a creepy journey. Welcome to DAX Machina.
Evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of DAX Machina. Joining me tonight is my partner in crime, Naoma Finn, and my good brother, Kerry Pocket Doc Davis. Our guest for tonight is going to be Eli Watson from Small Town Monsters, but he's running a little late. He just texted me, said he'll be here in about 20-30 minutes. So in the meantime, we're just kind of going to talk a few stories and just get involved and see how things go. Doc, how the hell are you?
Wyatt, I am rolling. That's going to be our new thing, isn't it?
Heck yeah. Doc, I didn't know you was back in town.
Why, Johnny Tyler, mad cat.
Oh, dear God.
God, I love that movie.
Best movie ever.
Naomi, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I just realized I told you the wrong city, but in our pre-show chat, but oh well. Hung out through the high winds and watched the tornadoes go by. And
those of you that were with us last week, we talked about the victims of the tornadoes that hit Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, parts of Illinois, and Indiana. They just tore up the Midwest. And it looks like it's going to happen again tonight. We've got a line of storms that are supposed to hit here where I'm at in about 2 hours. And they're predicting, well, we're already getting the high winds. Doc, I know you're getting high winds already.
Yeah.
So the winds have been blowing like crazy. So if I suddenly freeze up or disappear, Naoma will have to keep things going until my internet comes back.
Yeah. Same here with my big high speed broadband. Yeah, I get to replace a gate this weekend because the gust got over 100 miles an hour here and unlatched it somehow, and that thing about 100-pound gates out in the middle of my yard.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
That's some strong winds.
Yeah. Ripped it off the hinges, man. Out of the wood, like 4-inch screws.
Damn.
I know. Yay.
Yeah. Fun. You get to replace that gate.
I know. I get to fix that on Saturday or Sunday.
well, I feel kind of bad because our neighborhood actually didn't get anything. It was God put his hand down over us and said, "Not this time."
Oh,
we didn't get the damage here that everybody else did, and I'm pretty thankful for that. But Springfield did lose power. I mean, there were whole chunks of town that were out of power for about 12 hours. But that was about the worst of it in this area. But my thoughts and prayers are out for the families that are affected by all the damage. That set a record. They had the longest that a tornado had maintained on the ground, like 270 miles of destruction through 4 states.
Man, that's a hell of a lot of damage right there, brother.
Yes, it is.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, surprisingly so, as big as it was, as many people as it affected, it is a true miracle that, and it's a tragedy that the ones died that died, but it's a true miracle that not more died.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband's grandmother actually lived through the tornado they call the tri-state tornado. That broke the record, that held the record that tornado broke. It went through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana back in 1925.
Wow.
And she was terrified of tornadoes or storms to the day she died after that.
Well, y'all remember that tornado hit Joplin, Missouri years ago, and my oldest son was living in Oklahoma City when that F5 came through there in '99. And like I was telling y'all pre-show, we had the F4, F5 last Easter in Mississippi. That was my home county, and those tracked well over 100 miles. And they were The F5 was 2 miles wide.
That's a big
Yeah.
tornado.
Huge, man.
No Comp 907 says got minus 15 right now in Alaska. Whew. That's
keep
what
it, brother.
That's what my sergeant in the Army used to refer to as ball shriveling cold.
That will create an inversion real quick.
Yes, it will.
Faux show.
And that's why I live in Tennessee.
Yeah. Sure is. Yeah.
I don't mind cold weather. I'm kind of built for it, but that's pretty chilly, even by my standards.
Last winter was one of the coldest winters we had here on record. I've been out here 18 years, and it got 21 below out at my place.
Yikes!
Wow.
Yeah, that's cold. That's stay inside by the fire and drink whiskey cold.
Yeah, keep that blood thinner in there.
Correct.
The body's natural antifreeze. Uskabetha, the water of life.
Heck yeah. Naomi, are you feeling better on the mend? Your breathing sounds better tonight.
Yeah.
Good.
I am feeling a little better. Yeah, I was not feeling well at all the last time, was I?
Good. No, you were not. Glad you're on the mend.
Yeah.
AAAA said, you heard of the Alaskan Black Pyramid? Yes, I have. I don't know that much about it. I watched a documentary on it. I do want to dig into that a little deeper and maybe do an entire show on that. But I don't know a whole lot about it at this point. It's something I want to learn more about. Supposedly beneath a mountain in Alaska, they in a gigantic cavern is a black pyramid that they believe was constructed by aliens as a base. And supposedly our government not only is aware of it, but has been working with them to utilize that pyramid. So it's something I'm going to have to dig pretty deep into to try to find more stories about it. But it's an interesting story.
Is it allegedly supposed to be like a portal or some sort of wormhole or something like that, or energy device?
Well, from what I read, from what I saw in the documentary, it was more like a staging base.
Okay. Like a forward operating base for the aliens.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So anything weird happening other than tornadoes in y'all's neck of the woods lately?
No, nothing weird. I guess we inherited a couple of cats with the sale of the house, so we got barn cats I didn't know about, and of course Angie's out there feeding them and watering them now.
Well, you keep mice and rats out of your barn.
That's right.
Not if you feed and water them all.
That's what I told her. I said, feed and water them sparingly. I want them to kill all the mice and snakes out here, man.
It's good to give them a little food, keeps them happy, keeps them loyal to you, but don't overfeed
absolutely.
them.
Exactly. That's what I told her. I don't want fat. Ain't no such thing as a fat barn cat.
Josh sent me a link on this. I think it was yesterday. He said the Chinese found a square structure on the dark side of the moon. They're sending further investigations to get closer. Yeah, I want to learn more about that, but I don't know much about it as of yet, other than the little article. And it wasn't a whole lot, but apparently one of the Chinese rovers got picture of it. Took a picture, and I saw the picture. It was really grainy, but it was a obviously square structure set way off in the distance, and they were heading for it.
Yeah, because Josh and I were talking about that the other night. Whenever you were having all your internet issues, and how the aliens have allegedly had a moon base operation on the dark side of the moon for years and years. And like when the astronauts went through it, they were like, yes, there is a Santa Claus. You were saying something about that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the ones that still has people debating to this day on why he would say that. Obviously, I don't think he said it on a lark. I don't think it was meant to be a joke. I think it was a code, and it was just broadcast in the clear.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Well, you and I both know, Carrie, they're more than capable of broadcasting not only frequencies that anybody can pick up, but coded frequencies that no one can.
Correct.
So 100%. There was all kinds of telemetry coming back from the moon that we'll never know what it was saying.
Exactly. Some certain intelligence agencies had some devices on there.
You know it.
So, and today even. All right.
Alrighty then.
Don't everybody talk at once.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel wiped out. I don't know why.
Well, just jump right
I'm
on
just
in
like-
there.
It's like, only it's not that quiet when it happens.
I know.
Goodness.
I know when I start snoring when I'm asleep because I always get the backhand from the wife, like, knock it off.
Yeah, I get the gentle nudge. Roll over.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. I snore so loud, I just vibrate him right out of the bed.
I think my granddaddy was one of the loudest snorers. I used to go down to visit them in Picayune during the summertime. They had separate bedrooms, and so I'd sleep in my mama's bedroom. I called her my mama, grandma, mama, and I'd stay with Papa one night. And I remember the first night I stayed with Papa, he snored so loud. I woke up, thought a bear was getting in that house, man. And I hauled Bud out of the room and jumped in the bed with my grandma. I was like, she just started laughing. That's when they had separate bedrooms, I'm sure.
We lived on a farm for 19 years. And our farmhouse sat back from the road, and across the road was the original home of the farm. And my in-laws lived in the newer house across the road, and it sat not too, I mean, it was close to the road, but we're still talking probably a couple of football fields between us. And one day my kids are out in the yard, and it was getting about dusk, and my mother-in-law always went to bed early, and I was watching TV, and I was feeling a little tired, and I kind of dozed off. And they came in the house, and they were laughing. They said, we were out in the middle of the yard, halfway between both houses, and it was like it was in stereo. Between my mother-in-law over there and me over here. They said, we can hear you both plain as day.
Snoring like an outboard Evan Rude with no muffler.
Pulling the curtains in, creating a vacuum on the house. They could see, what the hell's the light doing moving? That ain't the light, that's the curtains.
Yep.
Oh, goodness gracious.
AA asked, what do you think about reincarnation? We can all chime in on that. Naomi, ladies first.
No. But if I did believe in if I believed in reincarnation, I would definitely want to come back as a female seahorse.
I believe in reincarnation. Look at President Hoover. He came back as a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about reincarnation. There's a lot of schools of thought on that. I've never really explored the idea, but I have thought, about seeing if I could find someone who is really good at hypnosis to try to do a past life regression to see if there's anything to it. I would very much like to explore the depths of my own psyche.
Yeah.
Juanita says, DA shorter beard looks nice. Thanks. It's a little shorter than I like it. That's what happens when you're not paying attention to the number on the beard guard.
Yeah, I ended up with a Mobius one night because I didn't pay attention to that thing, man. I had a big old straight strip.
And when you're trying to get a 10 and you don't put, you've missed the 0, you get a much shorter beard than you had planned.
Yep. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I believe in it. I mean, I had a recurring dream when I was 10, 11 years old, and it can only be explained as I was in another life because there were things going on that at my 10, 11-year-old brain could understand. And I had that dream all that recurring throughout my childhood. And I even wrote a paper on it in my psychology class, and my psychology professor was like, past life maybe. And I had, I don't know if you're into mysticism or spirituality or not, but I had my Akashic records read. And
how do you do that?
Just you talk to someone who can do Akashic record readings, and she said
I would love to do that.
Dude, it was very accurate. And she said I had 744 past lives, and that I had originally started out as a Viking, and most of my lives I had died in battle or was a warrior of some sort.
You know who was a firm believer in reincarnation? George Patton.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Have you ever read that poem he wrote, Through a Glass Darkly?
I have not.
He wrote a poem. It's about reincarnation, and it's talking about the beliefs that he's been a soldier for down through the centuries and would die and always be reborn a soldier.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he believe he was like a
was the
Roman
reincarnation
general?
of Hannibal?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Well, the poem is intense. You know, I'd read it on the air if I didn't think I'd get sued by the Patton estate. But the poem is just amazing.
Yeah.
George Jennings says all you need is a mirror and 7 black candles to see your past life. It's bad juju with mirrors. I'm afraid I'd let something in.
Yeah. I'll just stick to the record reading. Anna I don't know, Bolney? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry. She said she used to do readings like that.
That's awesome. Josh said, DA, we were just talking about those records on the show with Ryan and JT. Yeah, on Saturday night's show, we were talking about the Akashic records. I want to delve more into that. Anna, if you still do those by any chance or would be willing to do one, I would love to have mine done. You can reach out to me at daroberts@daroberts.net if you're interested. If not, if you can point me in the direction of somebody that still does it, I would love to have a Akashic Records reading done on me, just to know.
Apparently, it's pronounced bone.
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 The lady that did mine is a friend of mine, and she said that it was like in 2009, and I was working for Magpul then, and I said I want to do this, but with another company. I want to do whatever, and it's you will. But it will not be with this company. It will be with another company. And that's before I even thought about forming Dark Angel Medical. And so very, very ironic. And I'm also doing it with SIG too. So interesting.
Cool.
Muy interesante.
Very much so. I need to learn more about the Akashic Records. I don't know a lot about it. And we did talk about it briefly the other night when we had the guys from Horror Chronicles on. And I want to get them back on and really kind of do a deep dive into the Akashic Records. But it's something I find very fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I've often believed that I've had past life experiences.
Yeah, I mean,
because of certain vivid dreams, and a couple of times in places we went that I had never been before, and I'm like, I know this place. Just knew it. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's like a buddy of mine said. He said, people tend to gravitate to the same people they were with in past lives. They call them soul clusters or something like that. And I believe that, man. I totally do. There's too many uncanny things, I mean, like this little kid back in the 80s, 90s, he was born, and he basically was a World War II pilot. I mean, he recognized pictures, called them out by names. He knew his call sign, the name of the ship, everything. And he died in World War II. That's wild.
So, yeah, crazy stuff.
I would like to think if I'd had any past lives, I wouldn't have done so many stupid things in this one.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson, Naoma. It's a universal lesson.
Well, I had a gentleman reach out to me after the show the other day. He lives up in Alaska, and he sent me a very interesting Bigfoot encounter that he had. He's Native American, and he wants to come on the show and tell his story. And I think I'm going to contact him and try to get him on this Saturday to tell his story, because it is really a good one. And I think everybody's going to like it. I've read the account, and to have him tell the account, of course, I'm sure he's going to add more detail. But he just basically wrote up a synopsis, a little brief episode of what happened, and it's fascinating.
Wow.
And Yeah,
cool.
I was like, holy crap, this is freaking awesome. I don't want to give away any details because I want to have him do it, but I'm going to reach out to him tonight or tomorrow and see if we can't get him on the show Saturday to tell his account. And I've got a couple others too that I'm waiting on permission to read on the air. But again, if you guys have had accounts you would like us to discuss on the air, or if you'd like to join us and tell your accounts, we would love to hear from you. I'm wanting to try to expand more into that, to get encounter stories and things like that to read on the air. In fact, Josh Jones and I have discussed possibly doing a different show that's very similar to the accounts, and they're very similar to some of the stuff like Dixie Cryptid does, where we read an account but just do like one. And have those as like YouTube shorts, so that we might be doing something like that in the near future. But for the bigger accounts, the longer stories, I would like to have guests come on and tell the story themselves.
Wow.
I did basically a YouTube short and released it just this morning on a single account. It wasn't intentional. I didn't think I would get any more accounts, and he had sent it to me, and I just thought it was so nice that he sent it to me that I decided to go ahead and do it. But
yeah, that'd be a cool concept. I'd like to see that.
I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. I mean, I don't want to step on any other channel's toes. I mean, but
here's the thing with that. There's a lot of channels out there that are similar, but everybody has their own take on it. So you should always do what makes you happy.
Yeah, I want to do something like that, but very similar to what the Mr. Ballin does.
Yeah, I love his show.
Yeah, I like his too. He's got a really good style. I just wanted to like pop on, do a 10 or 15 minute video where I read an account and then upload those to YouTube or share them on Facebook or something like that. I don't want to do them live. I want to get them edited so they're cleaned up and I'm not sounding like a stammering moron.
Well, I mean, I feel like Naomi. I mean, it's just another perspective, and people might pick up something they didn't pick up in another podcast or video or something like that. So I think that's really cool, man.
Yeah, I think you should do it.
It's something we're wanting to work on. We've got a few irons in the fire we're trying to get straightened out. And of course, I've still got to get Lakeview 3 out. I just finished up a chapter last night on Lakeview 3 I was pretty proud of. And some of the actions is pretty intense. Kind of happy with the direction Lakeview 3 is taken, and I'm hoping to have it done very, very soon. It's right at 50,000 words, which means I'm getting pretty damn close.
I can't wait. Awesome, man.
So anyway, I don't know what I was going to say. I'm just brain dead lately. I'm telling you.
I did that the other day. I was talking to people to people in my class in Wichita about a guy I'd known all my life, and I mean his name was just gone. I mean, like a fart in the wind. It was gone, and I was just like, I've known Mac all my life, and I couldn't even remember his freaking name. If you'd have put a gun to my head, I'd have died right then.
Yeah.
I've collected a lot of encounter stories over the years, and it's and most of them are people that just said, "I'll tell you this story, but don't ever mention my name because I don't want this to come back and bite me in the ass and people think I'm crazy." So I really probably ought to start recording some of those too before those just fade away to insignificance. I've got notes on a lot of them, so I think that would be something fun to do.
That'd be very cool. It's like I keep a spreadsheet of our saves and, the circumstances, date, what happened, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, because people say, "Hey, don't use my name." I'm like, dude, I won't remember your name in about 15 seconds. I'm like, nice to meet you. I'll forget you in 15 seconds. It's like in class, I draw a map. When people introduce themselves, I write a map with their names. So I'll call on the right person.
I have two sons, and half the time I couldn't tell you what their names are.
Do you do roll call too, Naomi? When you're calling your kids, it's like a roll call. Yeah.
My mom would just roll through. And don't lie to me. I know which one you are. I'll figure it out.
But it's only when she uses a middle name, you know, your butt's done.
Oh, my same way with my wife. I hear my first and middle name, I'm toast.
I gave my oldest son 2 middle names so he'd have an extra minute to run.
I love my wife. You know those old stories of the Roman generals returning from battle, and they'd have that guy that walked beside him whispering, "You're mortal, you're mortal," so these guys didn't get a big head. Well, my wife does that for me, so make sure I don't ever get a big head. She says, "You start getting too big for your britches, I'll tell everybody that DA stands for dumbass." Like, thanks, son, love you.
That's true love right there, DA.
That is.
That's true love. That's true love.
You keep
brother.
her.
That's
She's a good woman.
almost 30 years of marriage right there.
Hey, a true love is when someone will call you on your bull crap. 100%.
She is not afraid to.
Yep.
You're getting some feedback from Robert Forrester. Lakeview Man was great. I agree, Robert. It was an awesome read, man. All of DA's books are awesome reads.
I
agree
did not see that
100%.
comment. There it is. Awesome. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Naoma is in the process of narrating Lakeview 2.
I can't wait.
She's going to do the audio on that. Also, the guy that's going to be on tonight, Eli Watson from Small Town Monsters, how him and I met is he actually is the guy that narrated Lakeview 1 in audio.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we have known him for a little bit. Really nice guy.
Cool.
But Lakeview 3 hopefully will be done in very, 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 very near future. I'm trying to make myself stick to a very tough writing schedule, 3,000 to 5,000 words a day if I can. And if I can keep that pace up, I should have it done very soon.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I just got done with Wild Hunt audiobook on my way to Kansas. So
What'd you think? Cam did an awesome job.
it was great, man. Solid. I really enjoyed it.
Hooter Transport says, "Forget the dog, man. Fear the wife." You ain't wrong.
100%, sir. 100%.
I can outrun her, but I got to come home sometime.
Yeah.
Or you gotta sleep.
Oh, see? That's creepy right there, Naomi. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you sound just like my wife. Like my wife, she said, "You got to fall asleep sometime. I got a lot of knives."
Used to tell my boys that. Go ahead. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to sleep.
Exhaustion will win out.
That's right. Chris Miller says, "I'm reading Blood and Honor right now. So far, it's really good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that." Actually, another thing I need to announce is that all of the books except for the Ragnarok Rising Saga should now be available in hardback. I'm going to try to get the Ragnarok Rising Saga done this week and uploaded to Amazon, but all of the others, the Apex Predator, the Lakeview Man, Nightmare Hunter, Codename Wild Hunt, and the sci-fi books, Blood and Honor and Perdition's Flames, should all now be available in hardback.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So I'm pretty happy about that.
I got to get some autographed copies from somebody. I don't know.
Well, I think you know a guy.
I might know a guy.
You might have met him once or twice.
Once or twice. Oh, DA, I'm talking to the chief, man. So we're in the talk. So I sent him some info back. If I heard by him tomorrow, I'm gonna ping him again.
Okay. Well, I can't wait for you to get that set up. That's going to be a hoot and a half.
Heck yes.
I'm coming for that class.
It will be good. It will be good.
I'm going to have a notepad so I can write down all your weird sayings.
You know, it's funny. People do that. When I start doing my sayings, people start doing that, and I'm like, what? After the first one, I'm like, wait a second. I said, there's plenty more of those coming. Just stay tuned.
That sounds like a whole line of Dark Angel T-shirts. Shit, Doc says.
That could be a good one. I had another one the other day. I was like, pew pew tourniquet. So
I'm looking at George Jennings' statement here. And I'm trying to remember if I've seen them. Did you send them to Dixie Cryptid, or what if it's true? Because I don't know that if I've seen them yet. I would have written them up, but he probably would have saved them for what if it's true rather than.
You know, one of my favorite of the Dixie Cryptid stories is that poltergeist story that was on with the Steve Lilly story. That story was creepy as hell.
Huh. I hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah, I can dig up the link and send it to you, but it's
on
the video with one. I think it's Steve Lilly 4 or 5.
All right.
I can't remember
Is
which
that
one
the
it
one
is.
in England?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, that was a creepy one.
That'll give me something good to listen to while I'm working.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, you could go to Dixie Cryptid and just hit play all videos.
All right.
I used to do that on overnights when I was working out with the police department. Because out in Walnut Grove, man, I could go 8 hours without even hearing my radio number on the radio because it's nothing. It's a town of 600 people. Worst I was going to get is somebody heard a prowler or somebody ran a stop sign, and then I'm like, hey, knock that crap off, because I hated writing tickets. I did. Somebody ran a stop sign, I pulled them over and like, hey, all right, I'm going to run your license registration, make sure you ain't wanted, but quit running the damn stop signs. Okay, sir. I hated writing tickets.
That's awesome.
I'd get some bored out there with nothing going on. I just set my phone to YouTube and pick a bunch of Cam's videos and just let them play while I was driving around.
Awesome.
I have to be honest with you. Every cop I've ever gotten is your polar opposite.
Really?
You sit here long enough, I'll find something to give you a ticket for.
Oh, I hated writing tickets. You know why I hated writing tickets? Because that meant my days off were in court.
Yep.
I have a scar, but it's not an abduction scar. It's a recent scar. Can you see it?
It's like a burn.
Yeah, I burned myself at Thanksgiving.
I was going to say, it looks like somebody reached in the oven and grabbed something burned.
And I couldn't put it down, so it just kind of had to sit there and sizzle, which is kind of cool because it didn't hurt. I didn't feel a darn thing.
Anna wants to know, anyone here been abducted or have scars? That I don't know about being abducted. My only periods of lost time involved alcohol. What about you, Doc?
No scars that were not self-induced or induced by somebody else that's here on this terrestrial plane. But no, I don't have any periods of unconsciousness like you, unless it was alcohol related. So I'm thankful in that respect.
All my scars got stories.
I only have one time in my life when I can't explain. And I was about 4 years old, and I cannot explain how it went from being the sun being just at the horizon, just almost touching. Well, actually, it probably was about halfway down to being dark in the time it took me to turn around.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. And
that is weird.
It's the only time in my life. And the thing that I remember most was we lived at the top of a very big hill. In fact, we had the best sled riding hill within 8 counties. It was the greatest. And the very top of it kind of was almost, it went like this, and then it came out like this. And so you had a really good start. It was great. But to knock over my lamp, why don't I? But anyway, and I was running between the houses, and I ran out to the top of the hill, and I saw a second sun, and it was it just suspended at eye level out over that hill. Like, from where it was at, it's probably 20 or 30 feet off the ground, but at my level, looking straight at it, I was looking right at it. And I looked over to the west, and I saw the sun setting in the sky. And I turned around to go tell my mom, and it had turned dark. It was nighttime. It was like,
wow.
That's wild.
Wow. And how old were you then, Naoma?
I was about 4 years old.
So you think it might have been aliens?
I don't know, but it's bothered me my entire life. I think about it. I don't think I've ever gone more than maybe a week or two in my life without thinking about what happened. How did I turn around? I mean, it was just in the blink of an eye. It went from being not quite dusk to being nighttime. And it's the only time it ever happened.
That'd be a good one to go under hypnosis with.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'd be afraid they'd find it. They'd make me remember other things. So, and I'm not ready to remember. My 20s, I am really not ready to remember.
I don't know many of us. I don't know many of us that are now.
I don't even hang out with people who knew me in my 20s for fear they'll tell a good story on me. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a very weird thing. And all I can tell you is that I was facing north, looking at that second sun, looked over to the west at the real sun. And by the time I turned around to the south, it was nighttime, completely blackout. So,
wow.
Chris Miller says, the only thing I can't explain, about 2 months ago, I woke up with a bruise the size of a fingertip on each arm.
Same place on each arm?
That's what I was wondering.
I wonder. And I know there's a medical reason for it, but I get these 3 little purple dots on my arm sometimes. And I know there's a medical word terminology for it, but it never happens as a result of an injury. They just appear on their own.
Petechia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew. I had a feeling you'd know what it is.
God bless you. Yeah, it's like a little rupture of your surface vessels. It can happen.
Yeah.
And you get a bruise.
Yeah. And they're little. They're not very, they're just little tiny round. Yep.
Yeah. Tiny.
And I usually get them in like groups of 3. I usually don't get just one when it happens.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I have read where people get clusters of them. So
interesting.
I figured. What the heck?
Anna says they wanted to get her to get hypnotized live on the air, but she chickened out. I would love to do it.
Mm-hmm. There are secrets I hide from myself.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And
I don't need other people hearing about them.
Chris said that the marks were on the inside of each bicep in the same spot.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, up here. That is interesting.
So, anyway, somebody speak. Anybody speak? I'll speak.
Hopefully Eli will be here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Eli. I like that name, Eli.
He's a nice guy. I really like him.
I do too. I like that name.
Meg says, my dad was hypnotized and it was said that it does not work unless you want it to work, and it stopped him from smoking.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that for smoking cessation.
It worked for me for 7 years. I didn't have a cigarette for 7 years after I was hypnotized. But that's all we did was smoking cessation. We didn't delve into anything that I didn't want to delve into.
Anna Bone says, I've been put back to bed wrong, head out the bottom of the bed, yet covers neat around me. That's
weird.
That is interesting.
Werewolf 5674 says, I've been told I cannot be hypnotized.
Some people cannot.
Northwoods. Oops, I hit the wrong one. I paid $50 to quit, walked outside and lit a smoke. Northwood says, DA, how often are you working on a book and come up with ideas for another one? I've got notes for probably my next 25 to 30 books already prepared, with outlines and concepts of where the stories are going to go. And I work on a project pretty much every day. For writers, you're either writing or you're thinking about writing. So there's really, even on vacation, I take my laptop and write on vacation. So there's really no vacation from being a writer, because I get cranky if I don't write for more than a couple of days. I just feel like I'm wasting valuable writing time. So I've asked my wife, if I go a day or two without writing, I start getting pretty irritable and I've got to get back to it.
Real quick, Meg, did you send that to neomafin@gmail.com? We'll find out eventually, because I don't see it in my email. Is the reason I asked. this. And this. What you guys can't see is I'm checking things because I'm good at that. Oh, it's not there.
There's Naomi's email and mine.
Yeah.
I was
There
looking
you
for it.
go.
I was looking for it to get it put up on the screen.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, apparently I can get hypnotized if I want to. There are just certain things I don't want to get hypnotized for.
I would love to be hypnotized. I've never had anybody try.
I think if you want it, if you're into it and you're willing to believe that you can be. I mean, we hypnotize ourselves every day. I actually practice self-hypnosis at night before I go to bed, or I can't fall asleep. So the first thing I do is I kind of concentrate on something above my head. Gosh, this is so bad. I don't do it often enough that I have a card in the other room that I actually read the instructions to get it straight. And I count. I take deep breaths. I have a little mantra that I repeat. And I tell myself I'm getting sleepier and I'm getting more deep into a deeper hypnotic state. And I can test it by telling myself to move my arm or whatever. And of course I move my arm because it's me. Like, I'm not going to listen to me. Well, actually that's not true because I've not listened to me many, many times. Usually that's when I meet the cops that are the polar opposite of you. But anyway, and once I get to that point, then whatever the thing is that, anxiety is one that I deal with a lot because I have a lot of social anxiety, if that's what you want to call it. Look, I have a thing about this. I think it's social anxiety if it makes you nervous to be around people, but I think that it's something else if you just don't like them. And I don't like to. I can do a whole crowd of people. I can stand in front of a crowd of 10,000 and give a speech, and I can answer questions in the whole 9 yards. But to stand like at a cocktail party within a few feet of people and having them talking in my face, that it takes my breath away. And so I just. But the social anxiety is one of the things that I have to, because it does make me not sleep. And then I usually get a really good night's sleep out of it. And so there you go. But I can send you the complete instructions on how to do it if you want to give it a try.
I would love to try it.
Okay.
Yeah. Send me the instructions. I'd love to try it. There's a number of things I would like to try to break bad habits, things like that. And some other things I just would like to, like for self-help and things like that. I would like to try self-hypnosis because I trust me more than I trust. Like if I was going to have a hypnotist do it, it'd have to be somebody I trusted.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, that plays a big role.
Because I don't want to be quacking like a duck. Everybody says the word lingerie.
Lingerie. I don't do that. Lingerie is not the word.
Naoma, could you send that to me as well? Because like you, my wife, Angie, suffers from social anxiety and insomnia as a result, unfortunately, as a side effect of that. So, yeah, if you could send that to me, I would really appreciate that. And hell, absolutely. I could use it too.
Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend it. People don't realize how much we actually naturally practice self-hypnosis, how many of the things that how many people this is an interesting fact. Everybody can draw. Everybody can. It's a natural gift. At some point before the age of, I think it's 7, someone will tell you can't draw, and that's when people lose their ability. And that's self-hypnosis. That's, you start saying, well, to yourself, I can't draw because so-and-so told me. And you say that enough and you've hypnotized yourself into believing you can't draw.
The power of suggestion is a powerful thing.
And it really frustrates me when I hear somebody make fun of, even if they're just being funny, make a crack about their kids' drawings. It's like, no, you treat that like it is a Rembrandt.
Absolutely.
Because you may be nourishing an artist right there.
Yeah. They may be the next Rembrandt for all you know.
That's right.
Grow it.
And so I fully believe that helps self-hypnosis. And I, like I said, I was hypnotized for smoking and I quit for 7 years. And at the point when I knew it was wearing off and I should have gone back and got rehypnotized, I stopped at the store and bought a pack of cigarettes on my way, and then I never got there. So that was my
folks,
fault. Now
I've got one of the accounts that were sent to us. If you guys would like to hear it, it's a short one. We've got permission to read it on the air. I don't know if I have permission to use his name, so I won't say the name. But if you guys would like to hear it, I've got one pulled up and ready.
Go for it.
Thank you, Josh, for cleaning it up for me. It says I'm from Lincoln County, Stanford, Kentucky, and I've lived in the area all my life. This encounter happened in South Fork community many years ago. I was visiting with my dad one night around the new year. We had stayed up most of the night and decided to leave for my home between 2:30 and 3 a.m. I went out in the cold to start my car as it had snowed a bit. You know how in the country when it snows, how quiet it gets and you can hear noises for miles? Well, as I walked back to the house to wait for my car to warm up, I heard this sound like a howl or something, but much more guttural and deep. It sounded like a howl that turned into a guttural growl. Right before that, I could hear dogs and coyotes barking and whining farther away. But when the howl happened, everything went silent. All the dogs in the area got quiet. I was thinking to myself, what the hell is that? I was terrified and headed to my car and locked the doors. I put it in drive and headed home. Thank goodness the sound came from the other direction. For a brief moment, I thought about driving that way, interested to see what it was before he went home. The sound came close to where some of my dad's farmland was, but I didn't have a weapon. So instead, I just went straight home. I have no idea what that was, and I haven't heard it before or since. As corny as it sounds, I swear it sounded like a werewolf howl or something similar to that from the movies. I'm 55 now, and that happened back in my early 30s. I wish I could have recorded it, but it only happened the one time I got out of there. My dad and my stepmom still live down there, but we sold that property several years ago. I've never heard anything like that again.
Interesting.
Wow.
Right. And he said Kentucky, so not too many wolves out in Kentucky.
Probably a dog man. Sounds like a dog man encounter to me.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, and that area is known for them.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah. They're way too close to Kentucky.
Looks like Eli is here. Eli, are you there?
Eli, you're really looking good these days.
Eli has a face for radio.
Yeah.
That's me.
Same.
Face that launched 1,000 ships, screaming into the night.
In terror.
That's right.
All my exes had one arm chewed off. Can't understand why.
I think Eli's having some technical issues.
He might have your internet, DA.
Well, hopefully not.
Well,
hopefully he'll be right back. There he comes.
And there he is.
There he is.
Hello, he looks so different.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
How are you doing, sir?
Oh. What did you do? Did you push a button?
Me? No. There we go.
Sorry
about that. I don't know what that was, but
weird.
God knows what's going on with Restream tonight. It's storming in my area, so it might have been something my computer did. So how are you doing?
I'm good, man. A little tired, but I'm okay.
Busy day?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to have you, man. You know, and your work with Small Town Monsters is really awesome. I've watched a lot of you guys' videos. In fact, last night I just watched the one you guys did when you were up in Maine.
Mm,
That one, I really liked that one. That one was awesome. And the one when you guys went up with the Olympic project,
yeah.
that one was freaking cool. I mean, you guys really were out there in the butt crack of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Those places, they're no joke. I mean, that place we went to in Maine, I mean, you have to check in with somebody and let them know, hey, we're going to be out here and we're planning on coming back in 3 days. So they know that if you don't come back in 3 days,
Go
they
looking
gotta
for you.
they're going to go look
Yeah.
for us, you know?
They know to send flowers to your funeral, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what is the creepiest place you've been to shooting?
Honestly, I would probably say Oregon, Mount Hood area. That's where we ran into like a satanic cult or something was going on out there, and it was nice in the day, and then at night, I mean, ask anybody in our crew, you know, the whole atmosphere changed at night, and it got really just, I don't know how to describe it. You just felt like you were being watched all the time at night, you know.
Do you think it was
So-
cryptids or that cult?
We left the cult behind. I mean, hopefully it wasn't them, but I don't know. It's just, you know, you talk to witnesses in that area. So I think part of it's mental, right? You know, you interview the witnesses, you're going to those areas where those sightings happened. Part of your brain is telling you Bigfoot's around here somewhere, but I don't know. There's like a lot of weird things going on in the woods, you know, more than just Bigfoot. So
Oh yeah. You've got all of the normal animals to contend with on top of that. I mean, there are predators out there that will eat you without being a cryptid.
right. And you know, you were talking about the Olympic project earlier. I mean, those dudes are no joke. Some of those dudes hunt bears. Some of those dudes, you know, go up to Alaska and like hunt grizzlies and stuff. And then they tell you that when they were in a proximity of what they thought was Bigfoot, they're scared. You're like, oh, geez, I don't even have a gun. Like, what am I doing? Like,
Well, I don't check my mail without a pistol, so there's no way in hell I'm going traipsing through the woods without something.
right,
Same.
right.
Same.
I don't ever take anything.
Hey, some people say the weirdest thing I've ever heard is that some people say that they can smell the gunpowder.
Well, I
Oh,
know for a fact
Yeah.
that they use dogs to check for pistols at theme parks and lots of places. There's the security down at Silver Dollar City. They have a couple of guys with dogs, and that dog will alert on you if you're trying to carry a gun into the park.
Huh.
I had one alert on me one time when I was still a cop, and the guy's like, "Are you carrying a firearm?" And I took out my credentials. He's like, "All right, you're good to go," but
Wow.
he was just making sure because the dog alerted on you. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm carrying."
Wow. Yeah. I mean, if the Bigfoot, I mean, if they can smell everything else, I mean, I think gunpowder would probably definitely a doable thing, you know?
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, so like some people say they have more success, you know, with peaceful encounters when they're not carrying. But like you said, DA, I mean, there's bears out in the woods, there's mountain lions out in the woods. You know, the guns aren't necessarily for Bigfoot, they're for everything else.
Oh yeah, and other people.
Yeah,
I mean,
And
you don't
did-
never know when you're going to stumble on somebody's marijuana grow.
Right.
that's
right.
true.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, and Eli, you said something, and it's more peaceful encounter. Maybe in the past if they've been shot at and they can smell that, they recognize that as some sort of threat, and they're going to have more of a peaceful encounter if they can't smell it because they're like, "Hey, is this dude here to smoke me or what?"
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, that makes sense.
Cryptidville says, "I have a serious question. I'd like the answer from anyone. Why do people insist on saying things that aren't true?" Dude, I think that's just human nature. Some people just think it's either funny or try to get attention by making up stories, and
I think
unfortunately, it happens.
I think it goes even deeper than that. I think it's pack mentality. They want to be a part of the pack. And if everybody in the pack has a story, then they need a story. And they will make one up if they have to belong. I think it's just a psychological defect of human nature to want to be a part of the pack. And that's how they do it. It's kind of sad, but it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does happen.
Yeah.
And it hurts the credibility of stories that are legit.
Yeah.
And all the people that have posted fake videos and fake photos basically have made it so that no photo or video evidence will ever be accepted without being thoroughly torn apart by professionals. And even then, they'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And all that does is just cast the cryptid seekers, and it casts them a more of a negative light, and it perpetuates that stigma that they're a bunch of loons, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate. It's what makes it hard for. I mean, like Eli with Small Town Monsters, they're doing legitimate field work and going to some really deep, dark places to try to get footage and take accounts and show people where these incidents have taken place. And then you've got the people that will like film the trees in their backyard and claim they're out in the deep, dark woods. So it's unfortunate, but it happens. But I'm just glad we have people like Eli and Small Town Monsters that are doing legit stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
You guys put out some awesome videos. If you guys have not checked out Small Town Monsters, you definitely need to. Their YouTube channel is packed full of videos that'll blow your mind.
Yeah, it's been a trip for sure. You know, we're going to be doing lots of cool stuff next year. I mean, our January trip is already planned out. We're going looking for the skunk ape.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, which is going to be totally different than anything I'm used to. You know, I've only been down south once. I've been to Louisiana, you know. I'm not used to camping out there, you know, and we're going to the Everglades, you know.
Take bug spray.
Yeah.
And a shotgun.
Yeah. Well, that's just for the mosquitoes.
That's just
and an extra quart of blood.
Yeah. We're going to get
mosquitoes down
guards.
there. Yeah. The mosquitoes down there are so big you can see the aircraft registration number on their tail.
Yeah. Be careful down there, man, for sure.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. You know, safety is always priority, you know. So.
Well, I noticed on the video when you guys were in Maine, you guys did have a shotgun with you. Was that for bears?
Moose, actually.
Moose? Yeah, moose are dangerous as hell.
Whew. Yeah.
My buddy Alex, we kind of do the show together, you know. He lives out in New Hampshire. Has been camping out in Maine plenty of times. And the time before that trip, actually, he had a moose. He woke up to a moose and its younger calf, I guess, walking through his camp, you know. And he said it just sounded so loud.
Yeah. And mama mooses are dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Yes. As bad as a bear.
Yeah.
You know, we were just trying to be safe, you know. So.
Wow.
George Jennings says wear leg guards because of the snakes.
Yep.
Yeah. Snake boots are definitely not a bad option, brother. I mean, for sure. I mean, they got moccasins down there the size of your freaking forearm. They're huge.
Yeah, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you get bit by one of those, it's game over because you're not going to get to a hospital in time.
Yeah,
sure.
Marshall Sorotis is wearing the Glades. Are you going?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We just booked our flights like 2 days ago, so we're still kind of planning out the exact details of the trip and everything. So, but we're gonna try to squeeze at least like 3 episodes out of it. And do that. I think we're doing the Everglades, we're doing the Ophikanoki Swamp, and the Panhandle. So it's gonna be a 3-week long endeavor. You know, kind of try to spend like a week in each spot. You know,
pretty much the whole state if you're doing those 3 areas.
Yeah. I mean, and there's reports from all 3 of those locations, so it's not like any of them are bad. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Fort
wife's
Lauderdale.
family, they used to live up near Pensacola Beach, and her grandma talked about a skunk ape
Really?
up north of Pensacola. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah,
What's up,
absolutely.
Bigfoot Anon?
Yeah.
I feel like Bigfoot Anon has been around on a couple other live streams I've been on.
We see him pop up in our chat quite a bit too. We're happy to have
Yeah.
him.
I think Bigfoot Anon has his own show, doesn't he?
I think so.
Does he?
Yeah.
Huh.
I may be wrong. Names are not my forte, so
Hmm.
clearly if I can't remember the name of my own children half the time.
When you were up there with the Olympic project,
Yeah.
I know I've watched the documentary a couple of times, but did anything happen that you didn't catch on camera that was interesting?
This wasn't in any of the docs about that, but apparently, so we had this was poor planning on our part. So the last day we were up there, we stayed at the Olympic Project cabin. You know, it's this big kind of shed almost, you know, and that's kind of like their headquarters. It's right in the Olympic Mountains. You know, it's super cool place. They got like Bigfoot casts all over the walls and everything, you know. Oh man, such a cool place. But me and Alex, our flight was at like 5 a.m, all the way down in Seattle. And the Olympics is like a good 3-4 hour drive, you know, just because it's so out there to get. And the way Washington is set up, it's like a weird state that's like falling apart. So there's like huge gaps of like literally ocean that come down into it, you know? So it's the Olympic Peninsula that you're on. And so we had to leave at like 1 a.m. to get there. And that was probably like the scariest drive of our life because we had been up for like 19-20 hours at that point, slept for like a good 40 minutes, and then got up to do it like a 3-4 hour drive. And it was all back roads in the middle of the night. And I remember at one point we had to pull over and like take another nap because we were just like, I mean, I couldn't drive, he couldn't drive. It wasn't happening. And apparently though, after we got back, we got to the airport safe and sound, thankfully, but apparently like 20 minutes after we had left, something slapped the side of the cabin. And you could hear it they had an audio recorder running, and you can hear us leave, obviously. You can hear us get in our car, the car doors close, we leave. 20 minutes later, something it's like a steel shed. You can hear it, wah, you know?
That's
Wow.
that's
You know what that
awesome.
feels like.
I hear all the time
Wow.
of accounts, people talking about Bigfoot slapping the side of cabins or houses, but to get that on audio, I would love to hear the audio.
Yeah, I just couldn't figure out how to, because I put that one together. I just couldn't figure out how to put that in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Oh. Like it's telling you, get out of here.
yeah. What are
Man.
you
I
smoking there?
wonder what that behavior is for. I mean, I hear about it a lot, and to me, it almost seems like an intimidation thing, or maybe they're trying to draw you outside.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Pocket Doc, what you got there?
H. Upman, 1844.
Oh, nice.
It's a good smoke.
I'm more of a pipe guy myself, but
I am as well. I enjoy a good pipe.
Nice. As for what DA said, I really don't know. It almost seems like an intimidation thing, you know, because you hear like, if we're going off the theory that Bigfoot is another ape, you know, you're going to look at other apes for behavioral tips.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which tree knocks have been observed in chimpanzees, so there's a precedent for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so are like just making noises, making slaps, you know, trying to make yourself bigger than you are, you know. So
The
I don't
gorillas have
know.
been known to slap like
Yeah.
the ground and also their chest.
Yeah,
It's an intimidation thing.
yeah,
I mean, could
What-
Eli could have been something getting thrown at the side of the shed too? Because I know one of the Bigfoot behaviors, they throw things like an intimidation tactic.
yeah, yeah. Rocks have been thrown at people plenty of times. This is an interesting question, though, what Aaron Heisner says. Would it be a good idea to go to more wide open places like Texas or the Southwest? The problem with more wide open places is that there's less reports. So, you know, there are reports in Arizona, but there's not as many, you know. Two places we went to this year that I think are not typically thought of as being Bigfoot or Squatchy, you know, is Colorado and Utah, you know.
I've heard a lot of accounts out of Colorado.
Yeah,
Same here.
There are. And there's some really wild ones in Colorado. Like those ones seem
It's the weed.
it's
No, I live in Colorado, Eli. That's why I said that. So yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so have you been to the Sasquatch Outpost?
And I have not. I've heard of it, but yeah, I mean, I can see Pikes Peak from my house. So
Oh,
I've
right
heard
on.
I've heard a lot of stuff out in that area. So yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got to live very close to my younger son, because you can see Pikes Peak out as, of course, it's not like it's a tiny little thing to see, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of course,
there's
I
a
always
lot of
make
weird
him take-
stuff.
they make him take me to Garden of the Gods. I think that's a cool place.
Beautiful place. Yeah, there are a lot of sightings out here, man. A lot of sightings.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting about the terrain of, you know, Colorado though is like it's not like the Pacific Northwest where it's all forest. You know, you have a lot of plains in Colorado and you have patches of woods. So it seems like
and the Rockies.
And the Rockies, right? But the Bigfoot activity seems like condensed to certain areas, whereas, you know, like you could be anywhere in Washington State and encounter a Bigfoot sighting, you know.
Yeah.
But in Colorado, you know, if you're eastern Colorado, which is all plains, you know, is it likely you're going to come across a Bigfoot there?
Right.
I don't really think so. It's not their habitat. You know?
Yeah, let's look at it from a tactical standpoint, man. It's less cover.
Mhm.
If there's less cover, I mean that's easier for them to be discovered. So like Pacific Northwest, you know, densely wooded, you know, rainforest essentially. Man, they got a boatload of areas to hide, man. So that makes
That does
perfect
seem to be a
sense.
commonality in a lot of Bigfoot sightings, is they occur in and around large forested areas and bodies of water.
I mean, you got to think it's got to eat, it's got to drink water, you know, the basic needs of life, you know.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wolfman says Arizona has the largest ponderosa pine forest in America, 13,000 foot peaks in the San Francisco mountains as well. Aaron Heisner says lots of reports around the Mogollon Rim in Arizona, also border patrols in California and Arizona.
Yes.
I've heard
Is
a
that
lot of
still
stories.
there?
Not in the book anymore, but I've heard a lot of stories out of the Mogollon Rim, and I heard some stories about Dogman down by the Arizona border from the Border Patrol that had numerous encounters with them.
Yeah, look at Louis Noriega's comment. Yeah.
And Louis Noriega says there's a national park in New Mexico that's been closed. It's next to the border where Keith sightings have been happened. A dogman carrying people that have tried to cross across the border, and they run into them. Border Patrol officers have been told. I've heard a lot of stories of dogman from Border Patrol agents.
Wow.
Right.
There's a lot of them coming out of the Southwest.
Yeah. I guess going back if I can, yeah, Kentucky, that is a place I really want to go to. Not only do I have family there, but good place for Bigfooting.
I spent 4 days and 3 nights in LBL this year, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. I
I
wish you'd
gotta
have
back
been
in
there because I
March,
was
aren't you?
alone for a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
You're going
Anything
back
happen?
in March, aren't you?
Planning on it. I was planning on going back in November, but then we had that car wreck. So, hopefully I'll be there we'll have that all straightened out soon. But I plan on being there in March, and I want to hit some other areas in and around that area.
Yeah.
I want to do some filming and take in some places that I'd really like to check out.
Nice. Yeah, I've been to the Mogollon Rim actually, and with another show called Chasing Legends, and we kind of split up into 2 groups, and we got it on audio, but I wasn't with this group. The other group got a really clear, loud knock out there on the Mogollon Rim, and our party, we could hear something. Something was like moving away from us, but then would stop, and then we would move closer to that sound, and it would move away and then stop. But we could never find what that was, you know. And
One of the
then-
best encounter stories I've ever been told was by a buddy of mine's dad. And it was just a short little encounter, and nothing really crazy. He was floating the Gasconade River here in Missouri, and he said he was just floating in a canoe and fishing, and came around a bend in the river, and he said it was right before dusk, and he described a Bigfoot type creature that was kneeling like on its haunches at the edge of the water eating a fish. And he said as he floated by, it made eye contact with him and just locked eyes with him as he went by. And just as soon as he was like just past him, it went back to eating the fish. I said, "What'd you do?" He goes, "I paddled like hell and got the hell out of there."
Turned into a paddle steamer.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Holy smokes, man. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the way I look at it too, y'all. And I don't know if y'all agree or not, but out here in Colorado, they're like, if you see a mountain lion, if you see a cat, that sucker's seen you a long time before you saw it. And I think the same thing with the cryptids, with the Bigfoot, with the Sasquatch out here. They see you, they observe you far than you see them. And if you do see one, it's been watching for a while, because what does our eyes pick up? Our eyes pick up movement. And so that's the only thing. If you notice all these films, these videos, everything, these clips people film, it's always movement. How long has that thing been sitting there looking at them? While they're out there frolicking in the water. So.
Well, I think the end of Harry and the Hendersons does that really well, right? Because there's that final shot where Harry's family comes out, and you don't notice any of them till they start moving. But when you go back and watch it and you know it's coming, you can see them. They're there, but you never get over that first time when you watch it and you're like, whoa, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I read a thing about that particular scene. That was not CGI or anything. Those actors were really just standing there, not moving. And they were like, "Oh, they'll see them," and they're like, "No, trust me, they will not.
They will not." It's like snipers in a ghillie. When I was in the military, you wouldn't see these cats out on the range until they stood up. You thought it was a clump of brush, and all of a sudden, that clump of brush stands up, and it's a bipedal. So same principle.
Yeah.
Anna says, "I found Sasquatch signs 30 feet across the street from my dad's house. We live in the city, but there is a ravine with water below, and either direction takes him to a park." Yeah, there are a lot of accounts of Sasquatch sightings in town. There was a town in Oklahoma. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'd have to dig in my notes. But they were having problems with people spotting Bigfoot coming in and raiding trash cans in this small town.
Makes sense.
It's where the groceries are.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, be funny if there was one in Central Park, They give him a tent. They give him a tent because they think he's a transient or something. Who knows?
So how many documentaries have you done with small town monsters?
Oof. Let's see. Hold on. We got the Washington one, the Maine one. Well, there's 2 Washington ones. So does that count as 1 or 2? Let's just say 2. So we got 2 of those. We got the Maine one. We had Oregon, California. So that's 5. Then we got Colorado. Utah's coming out in January. Ohio, we did one in Ohio. So that's 8 so far. We've done 8.
And they're awesome, dude. I mean, you guys are doing a hell of a job. Did you know that the Ohio Department of Natural Resources has released a series of videos describing Bigfoot behavior and warning people about it?
No.
And they're
No.
legit videos. They're not screwing around. It's not done tongue in cheek. They're like, in this following series of videos, we're going to tell you what to happen and what to do in case you have an encounter. And that's the Ohio Department of Natural Resources.
Wow.
First time I saw those videos, I was like, this has got to be a joke. And I started watching the first one. I'm like, they're not playing around. It was legit, straight up telling you what the behaviors to expect, and it's pretty interesting. I got to see if I can find those and post the link.
How old are those, DA?
Just this year. They just popped up this year.
I mean, for them to admit that's kind of a big thing. That's kind of a big reveal, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio surprised me the most because Ohio does have the Grassman, but they also have the Minerva monster, which in Minerva, Ohio, you know, we're talking about seeing Bigfoots in town and stuff. Minerva's a small town, but the 1970s, Ohio, that town was like lit up with Bigfoot activity. And when we, one of Seth's, I guess, I don't want to say workers, but this lady who works with Seth, she's married to a man and they moved out together on a family farm that's out in Minerva. And they started having like crazy stuff happen on their property. I'm talking about wood knocks, vocalizations. You know, she puts out like different stones like quartz and topaz and stuff, and we'll find them gone and then reappear on different parts of the property. You know, and we're talking about acres and acres of land. You know, no one's, I mean, some of those places you go hunt in your backyard, you know, no one's going to do that as a prank out there, you know?
Well, speaking of colored stones, I've got this little jug right here. I don't know how you can see it well enough, but I've got a bunch of colored stones in this.
Yeah.
I've probably got, 10, 15 or 20. They started showing up in my front yard, just off the porch. And I live in town. I mean, I'm like, what the hell? Where are these coming from? They're like little blue, like agate stones and stuff like that. A lot of them are just colored glass, but they kept showing up. And I was like trying to figure out where they were coming from. And so I asked my youngest son one day, I'm like, hey, what the hell's with these stones? Have you seen these? He goes, oh, I know what those are from. I'm like, what? He goes, I've been giving bread to the crows that keep landing in the front yard. So the crows have been bringing us colored stones for months.
Yeah. That's hilarious, man.
Crows will do that.
Yeah, it's really, really cool behavior. So he's every time we start to throw out like hot dog buns or something, I just break them up, throw them out in the yard, and those crows come and get them.
That's wild. That's some of the dudes out in Colorado. Oh man, he just left. They're big on gifting. Particularly the story I heard was about a toy horse. Because I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's reports of people finding horses' manes braided. Like the next morning, they're braided, and they're thinking that the Bigfoots are braiding their hair, which, I mean, I don't know what else would be doing that, like out in the middle of the night, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
can
been
get
happening
into
for a
some
long
pretty
time.
crazy stuff.
I think they used to call those witch knots or something like that.
No, there's a difference between fairy knots and what they're finding in.
Oh, okay.
Or they call them witches' knots, but fairy knots are caused by the wind, and you can tell there's a difference.
I just posted the link to the first video of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Bigfoot series. There's 4 videos in the series. I just posted the link to the first one. Aaron Heisner says, I think they have done that, meaning to not talk about it. I think they have done that to cover their bums for future lawsuits when these things are officially recognized and blamed for human disappearings. I think you may be right.
Possibly.
Well, like look at the missing 411 cases. I mean, obviously something's taken people.
Yep.
And some of those cases, they're the missing 411, the hunted,
Mhm.
those are experienced hunters with years of experience. They just gone without a trace.
Yep.
Hmm. So,
What's up?
how's it going?
How's your mama and them?
Good.
So, Eli, where are you
Mama's
based
fine.
out of, man?
I'm based out of Southern California.
Okay. All right, right on.
Yeah. So Bigfoot sightings are a little scarce out here in the desert. So
When you get closer up to the Big Bear area, they get a little more common.
yeah, there's reports, there's reports out in the mountain ranges around here. And, we used to have grizzly bear out here. And you look at it on a map, there's a loose mountain range all the way down from the south of the Sierras into northern Mexico. And there's still reports to this day of finding grizzlies in northern Mexico. Because I don't know if you guys are aware, grizzlies were basically hunted into extinction like a while back on the West Coast,
Yeah, same here in Missouri. We haven't had a grizzly bear sighting in Missouri in over 100 years.
Right.
Wow.
But there's grizzly bear sightings in northern Mexico. Of course, no one's really out investigating due to the political nature of Mexico at the moment. But I have a buddy named Tate Hieronymus who suggested that we should go into those mountains and look for Bigfoot, which I don't see why not. What is that? What is that?
Somebody's
noise?
tapping.
Oh, my
Who's
my
beating?
bad. My
I was
bad.
like, somebody's beating the
That was
tom-toms.
My bad.
Sorry.
I have a hard time holding my hands still. I need to have them doing something. And I lost track of my brain went dead.
No Comp 907 says, I feel gifting is very dangerous. Just my opinion. I agree with that. I've heard a lot of stories where gifting has gone very bad. There was one account, I believe I want to say it was in Georgia, where an elderly couple was gifting like right outside their house. And one of them wound up going in the hospital. They were doing it every night. And one of them had to go into the hospital where they were gone for a couple of weeks. And when they came back, their house had been broken into and trashed looking for the food.
Weird.
So if I was going to do anything like that, I damn sure wouldn't do it anywhere near my house.
Mm-mm.
Right. I think some people talk about that. None of those researchers I know in Colorado, you missed it. You were gone away, Pocket Doc. But the dudes I met in Colorado are pretty big on gifting, but none of them do it from their house. They do it in their research locations,
Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't bring that home. That's for sure. That's kind of inviting disaster.
Yeah. He should look into Indian reservations. Lots of reports in those, New Mexico and Arizona as well.
Yeah. I've heard that as well.
There's
Smoking
actually
the peace pipe there, Carrie.
Yes, it is. It's Colorado.
Martin Napier says, in talking hunters, going back to them smelling gunpowder, it doesn't seem to matter about guns if they want you. Yeah, some of those hunters that were well armed and still vanished.
Yep.
100%.
But I don't think a Bigfoot's going to go out of their way and attack you.
There are a lot of attack stories out of Alaska that were very aggressive.
There are, and that's actually one of the places we're going to go next year is Alaska.
I want to go to Port Chatham. I've wanted to go there for so long.
Me too.
Let's see.
Me
Port
too.
Chatham.
I didn't get enough time up there. Angie and I, the furthest we got was Talkeetna. So I'd love to go up there.
Okay.
You hanging in there? Sorry, I was looking up Port Chatham on the.
Port Chatham is a town in Alaska that was abandoned because of people disappearing and body parts washing up from the streams, and documented Bigfoot attacks to the city. They abandoned it in the 1950s because so many people were disappearing.
And the other town right across the harbor from it too. What's the name of the other town?
Portlock.
That's it.
Port Chatham and Portlock were both abandoned because of Bigfoot attacks.
DA, if I get another class up in Anchorage, you want to come up and let's go up there and take a week to go explore that?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, sure. Invite DA.
You too, Naoma. You can all come. Eli too. We could do another small town monsters episode up there.
This is an interesting question here. It makes you really question people who say these are more human than animal. I don't know. Are you trying to say? I don't want to get too philosophical here, but humans are pretty violent on their own.
You're not wrong. No comment 907 says, "Oh, sorry, Naomi. Go ahead."
I was just going to say I spend too much time reading about the things that serial killers do to believe that we are any higher up the chain than animals.
Good point.
I mean, you look at the what?
No, I was just going to read the comment. Go ahead.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, you look at the history of human civilization. I think I read somewhere online that we're living in the most peaceful time in human history. With
That's
the
a scary thought.
Right?
It is.
And just in terms of, like, you think about all the great conquerors back in the day, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, Alexander the Great, they all took land by blood,
Mm-hmm.
None of them were peaceful takeovers, Now we're entering a weird stage where everything's ideological. You don't need to kill your enemy to take them over. You just subvert them. So
you just need to kill their internet.
Yeah. You collapse their economy, and there you go.
Yeah.
No comp 907 says, "Seems like they act differently in various areas, but they're very aggressive here in Alaska."
That's what it seems like.
Sal Passos has a question. He says, "Have Bigfoot ever been referred to as the Guardians?"
Yes.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him referred to that way.
I've not heard of that. Why the Guardians?
I think you're going to find that more closer to the Northwest than you would find it. Like, you're certainly not going to have them called the Guardians in East Texas because they tend to be aggressive there. But there are a lot of Native Americans who see them as guardians of the woods. Mm-hmm. And I've seen them called the Guardians before.
Mm-hmm. Aaron Heisner says, "They seem good at recognizing the odds of a situation, never go places alone. Personally, if I go hiking, I go with others and my big dog in personal protection." You got to protect yourself. That's just
I believe that.
Common sense. Hey, Aaron also says, "I was talking about the violence. I was talking about the need to be fed, and then instead of moving on, having almost a need for retribution or bad temper." That's the thing, and you can see this behavior in grizzly bears. You can walk around a corner on a trail and come nose to nose with a grizzly bear, and odds are really good it's just going to turn and go its own way, and you're going to go your way. But you run into it that one time where you step between a mama and her cub, or it's right before hibernation time, and they need to eat. You're suddenly on the menu, and I think it'd be the same thing with a Bigfoot type creature. I think they're opportunistic.
I think a really good example of that is Timothy Treadwell.
The grizzly man.
Not that he was ever doing anything intelligent to begin with, but He'd convinced himself that those bears were his friends until it came time for them to hibernate.
Yeah.
So
And then
he
they
hung out a week longer than he should have.
Yeah. But another thing too with the Bigfoot is you're dealing with something that's territorial. You know, when you encroach on its territory, it takes that as a threat. You know what I mean? Especially another primate. You know, that's what we are. You know, we're you know, just take a simple bushcrafter or a hunter. You know, that goes out unknowingly, encroaches on a Bigfoot's territory, starts chopping down trees, building a tree stand. You know, or something. It's Bigfoot's like, dude, you just came into my kitchen and started renovating my counter. You know, like, what are you doing?
I wish someone would come into my kitchen and renovate my counter.
Yeah, that might be a good thing, right?
Ivy Ray says there's a show on Discovery Plus, Alaskan Killer Bigfoot, about a group of townspeople trying to take Port Lock back. It's really good. I've heard of it. I haven't watched it yet. That's on my to-watch list.
I haven't seen that either, but it's going to go on my to-watch list.
It's on Discovery Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put that on my watch list as well. So.
Yeah, I've definitely going to start watching that as well. Alaskan Killer Bigfoot.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Sorry, I'll put that up.
Sasquatch being the caretakers. You know, the craziest story I heard out of Mount Hood was there was a story of this guy at like 17 years old. He was 17 years old when it happened. He was much older when he shared the story, but he was starting a fire, like a campfire, in the middle of like a burn ban because everything was too dry and whatnot. You know, I mean, you're in Colorado. You guys know what it is. I don't know why. And he said he had just started the fire and something smacked him across his campsite and stomped out his fire. And when he looked up, it was Bigfoot and just like growled at him and then walked away. It was like, we're not doing this fire thing, dude.
Yeah.
I had this vision of the gods must be crazy.
When the rhino stomped up.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that went through my mind.
I was thinking of Bigfoot with a Smokey the Bear hat.
Yeah. I had this vision of this 9-foot Bigfoot walking into the camp and peeing on the fire while glaring death at the guy. This urine stream about the size of a quarter.
We're not trying to make light of the
No.
It's just
Yeah.
We all had a different vision and they're not right. Clearly not right.
No Comp says every encounter I've had has been initiated by them, and it wasn't a curiosity thing. Very predatory. We felt hunted several times. Up in Alaska, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the accounts, like from the Big Thicket area of Texas, they're very aggressive. There's a lot of accounts here in Missouri where they've been aggressive. And then, of course, you know, you get into Kentucky and Tennessee, and there's a lot of aggressive accounts there as well. I guess individual temperament probably varies from Bigfoot to Bigfoot, much like bears. No two bears act exactly the same way. No two people act exactly the same way. So I guess we could extend them the same courtesy to know that they're, you know, individuals as well. But you catch the wrong one in the wrong mood, and well, for example, you know, we know chimpanzees are roughly half our size. You know, they're not huge, but they possess strength in excess of 10 times what we're capable of. Now you magnify that to an 8-foot tall, 800-pound primate, and it's going to tear your arms out of socket.
Yeah.
And it's not going to take much to do it. How strong would it be?
My arms hurt now. Marshall, The Gods Must Be Crazy is one of my all-time favorite movies. I agree. It was hilarious. I laughed hard at that movie.
Well, it's kind of like some of the places where they found trees that have been uprooted and then rammed back in the ground upside down as a territorial marker. That takes an incredible amount of strength.
And I've seen that in Colorado, you know, because I've never been one for. I'm not big on stick structures, you know, because I know a lot of bushcrafters will do stick structures and things like that. And, you know, sometimes branches and trees do fall over when there's inclement weather, and it all looks the same, the teepee-like formation, But when you see a tree that's been uprooted and then put back in the ground upside down, what's doing?
Yeah, there's no ignoring that.
Yeah,
Where were you, Eli? I'm curious. Where were you in
I was
Colorado?
I spent one night up in Bailey, but where I saw those things, I was in Guffey, Colorado.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I have a campground I go to up in the Bailey Deckers area. So up near Kenosha Pass.
That sounds like a good place to take your 458 SOCOM, Doc.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, dude. Like, ooh, okay. Good to know.
Blue Fov 70 says Arkansas Bigfoot does gifting and feeding and have had no issues with them. It's a family and they seem to be very, very, very benevolent. Again, it's just basic behavior. You might be able to, well, black bears here in Missouri and Arkansas are everywhere. We're getting pictures of them here in Springfield, and it's the third largest city in Missouri. They're coming into town. You can feed a black bear, throw apples, whatever you want to throw out there. But one time you get too close or do the wrong thing, and it's going to attack you. I mean, it's animal behavior. You can't predict it. And I think it's the same thing with Bigfoot. If people get too comfortable around them, they're going to get a bad reminder that those are wild animals.
Yeah. And I think it's a very tribal thing too, DA. I mean, look at people as a human beings as a people. We have more peaceful peoples and we have warring tribes, who anybody comes on their territory, encroaches their territory, they're fair game. So
exactly.
It'll be a very tribal territorial thing.
Eli, have you guys had any aggressive encounters?
No, I haven't had anything. Yeah, the difficult part about our show is we only spend so much time in a certain location before we leave, Yeah. And that's like the reality is Bigfooting is a lot of nothing happening, So sometimes, like the Maine expedition, we were up there in Maine for 3 days and absolutely nothing happened. But we know there's reports up there. We know stuff happens up there, but we just didn't have anything happen.
Well, you guys were at least out there for days. There's a particular show that I'm not going to name any names or cast any aspersions at any of the shows, but it seems like they're out in somebody's backyard for 45 minutes and they call it a night.
Right. And so, and another difficult thing is, what helps with Bigfooting stuff is like coming back to the same spot over and over and over again.
Getting them used to you.
We can't do that. Whether, something happens or something doesn't, we don't get to come back. Maybe we will in the future, but we haven't yet, So
I don't know. I personally, anytime I've gone camping or anything, I'm not the guy that's going to be out there doing calls or beating on trees. I think that's kind of a waste of time. One of the things with Ron Moorhead's Sierra sounds is when they had those analyzed, not only did the Navy cryptolinguists say that was a language, they said that the recordings possessed pitches and tones both above and below human vocal range. So basically, if you're trying to make a call, you can't duplicate that. All you're doing is screaming gibberish.
Yeah. It's we try to avoid doing calls as much as possible. We really only try to do like 1 or 2 knocks, and because you might be able to fool something with a knock. You know what I mean? Like you said, the vocal thing, I think it's just goofy,
Well, Eli, if you come back out to Colorado, let me know, man. I'll go with you.
All right. Sounds good.
Aaron Heister says, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know we spent that 1 week in Colorado and we definitely want to come back, so I'll let you know.
I'm your huckleberry.
Aaron Heister says, I wonder if it'd be more effective for him to try and go to a property where they're having nightly problems around their home.
I went there in Guffey, Colorado. That's where we found the trees uprooted. That's where couple places around the property, we found dens, like caves and stuff with not antlers, like deer skulls. The problem, okay, we had been told that there was a location what that is, and then we went over in that area, and then our guide was like, "Oh man, I'm lost. I don't know where these caves are." But I mean, to be fair, it was a large area, but they did show us the trees, and the trees had been crossed over in X's, furthermore,
Wow.
which is pretty wild. So,
Wow.
and they had stuff. Yeah, I mean, the wood line came up to the back of their property. So like they were having stuff. One of them punched their shed, and there was knuckle marks in the back of their shed that you could see.
How big were they?
Yes, I was going to say how big.
Yeah. They were roughly human size. I don't know how much to describe it because you're really going off of like this right here, so maybe a little bit bigger. And then of course with the dent, it wasn't like a perfect impression. It was more like it had bent it in. So it's a little distorted, and they have cameras all around their property. But what's so funny is you can't see the back of the shed from their camera, right? But you can hear 2 times it punches the back of the shed, and then their son, who is a full-grown adult, runs out of the shed, says, "Come on, mother effer," starts shooting at it. And you can see all that on camera, but there's a perfect blind spot from the wood line to the back of the shed that this thing could have moved in and moved out of and not be seen. It's like they knew where the blind spot was.
Man. Well, I got night vision, thermal, and an ATV.
Yeah, I think they're capable of seeing IR, the IR beams.
I think so as well.
I know deer react to it. You can look on trail cams and deer react to when the camera flashes.
Bingo.
I think that's why we're not going to get a picture of one with a trail cam.
Well, I think trail cams are a waste of time because of the IR. But if they can develop a true low light trail cam that doesn't rely on IR, I think that's when we'll start getting some really good footage. I know there are a lot of security cameras out there that are currently available, but they would you'd have to have a power source run to them. But they go down to 0 lumens without using IR.
Yeah.
But they're fairly high-end security cameras.
If they can talk on different spectrums, why can't they see on different spectrums?
Exactly.
Another thing too is the plastic. I think they might be able to smell, because I know bears are attracted to trail cam plastic because it reminds them of honey or something like that, or so it's
an unfamiliar smell.
Well, I think they like it actually, because the dudes up in the Olympic projects lose trail cams to bears all the time, because the bears will come up, dig them out, and just like start chomping on them, and then they're like, "Oh, this is gross," and spit it back out. So they'll come back and find their trail cam, all messed up. They'll read the footage, and see the bear just munching away on their trail cam. So I think if a bear can smell it, I think a Bigfoot can see the IR and probably smell the plastic, so if we can like construct, you would have to construct like a custom made trail cam,
Well, for example, perfect example, that's where they live. If you walked into your living room and somebody had stuck a trail camera to the wall, you're probably going to notice it.
Right. Does anyone know what a Rugaru is? I've been looking for the Rugaru. When I went to Louisiana, I was looking for the Rugaru, but I don't think that's out there. Like, nothing happened. We got swarmed by alligators, but
no, those were mosquitoes, sweetheart.
My grandma talked about the Rugaru down because they were there in the Pearl River Swamp between Picayune, Mississippi, and Slidell, Louisiana. So they used to talk about the Rugaru all the time down there.
Yeah. See, I don't know if the Rugaru is flesh and blood, though. I think the Rugaru is more of a paranormal. See, the Dogman thing, dude. we gotta talk about this.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
Go for it.
I
Let
well,
me
I
pull
don't
my
know
camera.
because I'm pretty big on Bigfoot being flesh and blood, you know.
Me too.
But Dogman is something else, you know. You have so many reports of werewolves existing in different cultures and things like that, which is obviously a sort of a paranormal or supernatural thing, you know, the transformation of man into wolf. Um, I mean, do you think Dogman are just werewolves? Do you think Dogmen are out there like Bigfoot's out there? Or
I definitely
they,
think they're out there.
I
There's
think
there's
are
references
they?
to them in lots of Native American lore.
Yeah.
Naoma, go ahead.
I think werewolves are dogmen.
I do too.
I don't think that dogmen are werewolves. I think that werewolves are dogmen, and it's a misunderstanding of what they're seeing and the assumption that if it looks like a man, it must at some point during the day be a man. And
Mhm.
that's where it comes from. But I do think that werewolves are dogmen, not the other way around.
Well, if you look back at mythology all the way back to Egyptians, the Egyptians had Anubis, the jackal or wolf-headed god. The Vikings talked about the elf Hednar, the berserkers that had the head of a wolf and went into battle, and no spear or sword seemed to slow them down. Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus both talked about seeing dog-headed men on islands they visited during their journeys. The condition's called cynocephaly, and creatures with the men with the heads of dogs. In fact, one of the Catholic saints, Saint Christopher, is known as the dog-headed saint, and many of the depictions of him show him in Catholic robes with the head of a dog.
Right.
I think these creatures have existed down through the centuries, and there's so much Native American lore on them. In fact, the Choctaw talk about how the Bigfoot creatures and the dogmen fought wars over territory. So I think the dogmen has been around for a long time, and I think it's been adapted to become the werewolf legend. I think the creatures were already there. And I think that they were trying to explain what they were, that someone, like Naoma said, somebody had to have turned into one. Some guy lives in the woods. He goes out to his cabin, and then later that night, this dog man shows up and eats somebody. And then the guy comes back the next day. They're like, "Oh, it must have been him." But I think they're legit creatures, and I think they're out there.
What do you think of though? You know what I mean? Because like with Bigfoot, we have like the Patterson Gimlin film, which sure it's steeped in controversy, but to me it's legit. We don't have anything like that. We don't have anything comparable to that for Dogman. You know, are they just more rare?
I think a lot of the times they spend a lot of time on all fours. So when people see them, they just confuse them with a big wolf. And many of the Dogman accounts, in fact, some of the ones I saw on the Discovery Channel, the witnesses describe seeing a large wolf approaching, and before it stood up, they would hear a popping sound, and it would stand up on its hind legs, and suddenly it had hands. I think there's something about the morphology of their hands that allows them to maybe make like a fist kind of thing, and turns their hand back into a paw. So if one was killed along the highway, it would just look like a large wolf. I know the encounter that Steve and my wife and Steve's wife had. We very much believe it was a dogman. About 2 years ago, well, I went to an abandoned campground here in Missouri called the Joe Bald Recreation Area, and I was filming a promo for, actually, ironically, the book The Lakeview Man, the one you narrated, Eli. I was filming a promo for that book, and we captured something on camera we didn't realize we'd captured until a year and a half later. We showed the video on a podcast, and we were just talking about the book. And Thomas Whitney, a guy was in the audience, he goes, "There's something moving behind one of those trees." And when we had a couple guys I know that do video editing tear into the video, I've got some of the pictures still saved.
Yes.
One of the trees, you can see something. This one, you can see the hand toward the bottom of the circle, and the head leaning out. And I know it's grainy. This was shot on a cell phone, but this one in particular, you can see it's a wolf-like shape of the head. We went back in the daylight, and our best estimate on that tree was it had to be about 9 feet off the ground. there's a black and white, but black and white image. The thing about it is you can watch the video, and you'll see it smaller there. You can definitely see it move. It changes positions, and we didn't know it was there. It was like 30, 35 yards away from us. But if you watch the video, it is abundantly clear that it reacts to my flashlight. It is not a branch, and it moved independently of the trees around it.
Yeah.
Did you
and there's
go back to the?
No.
Yeah, we've gone back there a couple times.
And there's nothing there.
Nope, there's nothing there. It could have been no brush around the tree, no branches at that level. There is nothing there. It could have been.
And DA, even when y'all were there was no background noise from that area whatsoever.
Right.
And when y'all went and checked it out, there was nothing there.
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing there.
The other thing that fails to get mentioned about that video is when you bring it back around, the eye shine behind you was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we picked up it.
We picked up quite a bit of eye shine in the video that I didn't notice at the time. Like I said, we just went to shoot a promo video for the book. It was just a couple minutes long. We just drove down there on a lark to shoot this promo video, and it wasn't until a year and a half later that someone spotted the movement. And it's pretty wild video.
Yeah.
On my YouTube channel, you can go into my location videos and watch the extended video we made. It shows the original footage, and then it shows slowed down and zoomed in versions where you can actually see the movement, and we've isolated it. It was done by Josh and Adam. They did a fantastic job, but we definitely caught something moving. And as you can see here, the head definitely looks like a dog's head, like a wolf's head.
Yeah.
And I wish to God that we'd have been, filming with some high resolution digital camera. But we just went down there to shoot a promo video, and it was shot on my cell phone. So unfortunately, that's as good as the video gets. I wish if I had known ahead of time, I would have tried to have had a much better camera, but we didn't go down there with the plans of catching anything on camera. We went down there to shoot a book promo.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is Josh. He's one of the guys that did the video captures. He says, one of the two people that analyzed the video, I can speak for the other person. We do believe the supposed eye shine is an artifact of the camera light off DA's glasses. So some of the eye shine, I don't think, but some of it's not. There's places where there's definitely eye shine independent of me, but the one section where it looks like it's behind me, I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, it was definite tapetum lucidum,
yes.
Eye shine,
And it says, put that pic back up, please. Okay. Let me find it.
Do you have a screenshot of the eye shine, DA?
No, I don't. I need to have Josh take some stills from individual eye shine and spots in the camera. But this
show it before and after.
Yeah, this one where you can see the shape of the head. I mean, if you look right at the front, you can actually kind of see like a dog's nose at it. But this is the one you can see the actual claws on the hand reaching around the tree. And we went back there in the daylight, and that's between 8.5 and 9 feet off the ground.
Wow. DA, I couldn't remember from that night we were all looking at that video. Did y'all find any kind of marks on that tree at that distance up where you saw the hand come around?
Adam did.
Okay.
And when Adam went out there, he found and remember, it was a year and a half before we discovered the motion on the camera. So, but we went back to that exact spot, and there's nothing there. It could have been, but there were like faded marks on the tree where it looked like something had scratched it, and it was pretty good size. But a year and a half took place between when we filmed it and when it was noticed. Meg says DA linked the video. All right, let me go find it. Give me just a second.
Yeah, it's a very unassuming video. You can definitely tell y'all weren't out there looking to get that, but you definitely did get something.
Gotta find it. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Naoma, you still with us? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I shouldn't have had all that cough syrup before the podcast.
We had a long day today. We had to go into downtown Nashville.
Whew.
And that's always exhausting.
God bless you. Yeah, Patty has a good point. DA was being hunted. Patty, was he being hunted or was he just being observed?
I just posted the link in the chat to the original video before we did anything to it, and let me get the full version. There we go. Got it. Okay.
Uh-oh. No comp had to cancel firewood day.
Okay.
You got enough
I
firewood
posted the link
to-
in the chat of the original video as it stood, and I just posted the full breakdown in there as well. If I can find the video, I might be able to upload it here.
Yeah, John Doe said something. If he was being hunted, he very likely wouldn't have left the woods. That's kind of what I was thinking too. If you
Well,
were
I
being
was
hunted,
armed.
yeah. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
but your wife was behind the wheel.
Yeah, I would have known if it was coming after us. I'd have heard the van leaving.
and that would have been like, "Good luck, DA. Love you."
Your insurance is paid up. Bye.
Kim Johnson says, "Does Jack Daniels make cough syrup?" Jack Daniels is cough syrup.
Pretty much, yeah.
Factually accurate, Eli. I like the way you think, sir. I like the way you think, sir. Night, Papa Bear.
I think he's just joining us.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying good night, but
Oh, maybe he is. I don't know, but I hadn't seen him earlier. So he's having a rough time of it.
bless his heart. He's still in the hospital.
No, he's home, but now he's got his dad living with him, and that's never a good thing.
Bless his heart.
I guess it's better than having his mom living with him.
Especially if she's a Greek mom. Good Lord.
No, his mom's a little Irish Indian lady. A little less in short.
You find it, DA?
Yes, I did. I'm uploading it now.
Awesome.
This is the breakdown video. It's about 5 minutes long, so you guys will bear with me. I will play the video in its entirety if as soon as it's done uploading. Eli, if you're welcome to comment on this one, I'd love to hear your input on it.
Yeah, show me. I want to see
It's
this.
still processing. Restream is taking its time, so I should have it here in just a minute. It's a pretty good sized video, so it's going to take it a second to upload.
Aw, thank you, Patty. So,
WTH.
Aaron Eisner says, I think we're hunted more than we realize since we are so easy to predict where we go from roads to trails.
I agree with that. 100%.
Anna says, give me email. I'll send my pic of the peaker plus the one of the craziness picture too. If you want to send anything to us here, you can send it to either myself or Naoma. DA Roberts at daroberts.net or naomafinn@gmail.com. You can send it to either of us or both of us. We would love to check it out.
yes. So anyway, I can say all 50 states in less than a minute.
Can you do the alphabet backwards?
Yep.
Sorry,
Man.
Restream is going stupid slow tonight. I think it's my internet connection. I think the storms are playing hell with my internet connection.
Want to hear me do all 50 states?
Wait, can you do the
Yes.
state and its capitals?
I can't
can
do it without singing it like they did on Animaniacs.
Yes, yes.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio. That's the only way I can do it.
Oh Lord.
The
Okay,
Nations of the
Lewis.
World song is out of date now. There's countries have changed.
Okay, I'm going to
Wow.
say all 50 states in less than a minute. Ready?
Do it.
Do it.
All 50 states in less than a minute.
And
I
go.
did. All 50
She said-
states in less than a minute.
Oh,
there you go.
smart ass.
Well, I can. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
42 seconds. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time.
Wow. I know Mississippi.
Can you spell it?
Is that because you were running there, Forrest?
Because I was running M-I, cricket letter I, cricket letter I, politically incorrect, humpback I. So that's the way we learned.
Sorry,
That's
it's
the way we
taking
learned
so
when we were
long for this
kids.
to upload.
Luis Noriega asked me, what part of Southern California am I from? I'm from the Temecula area. If you're aware of it, if you're from Anaheim, you probably heard of Temecula.
Hey, DA, Josh says get the picture he sent you.
Yeah, I've got it loaded.
Okay. Cool.
I'll do it after the video. The video is ready to roll if you guys want to see it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Again, it's about 5 minutes long, but I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Here we go.
Hey folks, Josh from All Tower Media here. Hopefully you've seen me on some of DA's shows. If not, welcome, and hope you like and subscribe. Real quick, you may have already seen the book promo video that DA did for one of his books at the Joe Bald Recreation Area. It's gotten a little bit of a stir up because of what possibly could have been seen in the background. Now, just a little setup for this. Like I said, DA was recording a video for a book promo. The location appeared in his book, and him and his other co-host Steve just decided to go down and record, on location. Fast forward almost a year later, and someone said they saw movement in the background. Matter of fact, if you're familiar with Dream, he's been on some of the shows. We talk about him quite a bit. Good friend of the show. He mentioned that he noticed some stuff in the background. Well, they tried to look at it again. They didn't see anything. So Adam and myself stepped in of All Tower Media and said, you know what? We've done some image processing and some video processing. Thought we'd try to clean it up. Well, the following is what terrified the hell out of us when we saw it. Just to kind of set up a little bit over a bridge, you'll see a little bit of movement behind a tree and then ducks back in. Later in the video, I slow it down and enhance it for you to see a little bit better, and then show you some of the stills that we enhanced even further. Due to the quality of DA's cell phone, which, again, he was there to record a quick promo, wasn't, high quality or night vision. It did the job that he set out to do. So we had what we were working with, and you let us know what you think down in the comments. We know what we think, and, until we have more proof, this is the best we got right now. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.
Hey folks, D.A. Roberts. Out here doing research for books for the future and showing you guys the creepier parts of the state of Missouri and the Ozarks. We're here in the Joe Bald camp area. It's been an abandoned campground for about the past 20 years. Army Corps of Engineers closed it down in the early 2000s. Allegedly, there have been a number of people go missing down here. It's pretty well overgrown. Pretty creepy place. Thought I'd show you around a little bit. We're here near Table Rock Lake. You can see the lake through the trees. Lake's up actually pretty high. Hear a lot of night sounds tonight. I don't hear anything out of the ordinary. There's just tree frogs and bugs and typical Missouri sounds. I don't think we're gonna find anything really interesting. But I was really hoping. But wanted to come down here for a while. I've been down here in the daylight, but never at night. And it's a pretty creepy place. If you've never been down to Kimberly City, Missouri, and you want to come down this way, just follow the signs to the Joe Bald Recreation Area. It's still open to the public, but you can't camp here anymore. The place is completely overgrown. And really kind of neat. So if you get a chance, check it out. And that's the video.
Yeah.
Eli, what do you think?
I don't know. It definitely looks like something peeking out and ducking back behind the tree. It really does.
I mean, and that's 9 feet up, dude. That's 9 feet
Yeah,
up.
it's pretty far up there. When we went out there to the, we've got pictures of it somewhere of people standing next to the tree, and our head is way below the level it was at.
Yeah. Weird.
I mean, if it had been a bear up in the tree, like looking around, they'd have heard that. Bears are not the most graceful creatures in our planet.
Nor are they built for stealth.
No, they are not. You'd have heard that.
If that had been a bear climbing a tree, we'd have heard the claws on the bark.
Yep.
Whatever that was, you can see it react to my flashlight. When the flashlight starts to pass over it, you can see it lean out. And when the flashlight starts to come back, it goes back in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And in those stills, you can see the arm. I mean, you can see part of the shoulder and the arm.
Yeah.
So can't 100% say that's definitive Dogman evidence, because no video is ever going to be good enough to be definitive evidence. But we didn't know that was there, and it was 30, maybe 30 yards away from us, not far. And it freaked us out when they first sent me the images that they'd taken out of the video. It was like somebody poured ice water down my back. I was like, what the hell? Because we were that, all I had was a 9mm pistol. All I was going to do was piss it off.
But you had a great T-shirt. You had a great T-shirt.
It was a good T-shirt.
Some
crazy guy I know gave me that shirt.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's, and there were a lot of people that were flaming y'all on that video, and it was staged or this or that or the other. And I was like, man,
if we'd have staged that, we'd have come forward with it a lot sooner. You can look at the YouTube timestamp. It was on YouTube for a solid year before we started making any comments about it.
Yeah.
Right.
If we're video hoaxers, we're the worst in the world at it. And Josh can tell you, when it comes to technical skills, I have run into trouble with my email and text him. So it was obviously not me.
Yeah.
Josh is my tech guy. I'm like, I screwed up. How do I fix this?
Aaron had a question. Aaron Heisner, he said, were the eyes closed? There was no shine that he could see. but in one of the frames, you could actually see a shine if it was slowed down enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron. Eli.
I think the problem with the eye shine at least is the footage is just too low quality.
It was shot on a cell phone.
You know, and it's super zoomed in. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you can see a hand is remarkable. You know what I mean? But like the eye shine, I don't think that would turn up. You know?
I really wish I'd had a better quality camera when we were there filming that, but I had no idea. Our sole intent was to shoot a little video, and you can look on my channel. There's 4 or 5 other videos on there from Kimberling City and other places, from locations of the books, where I just went and said, hey, this is the location of whatever event in the book, and show people around. I've done several of those videos, and most of those were done in the daylight. And when we went to do that one, my best friend Steve, he's the weekend host. He co-hosts with me, Steve Monrotis. Steve and I, we were at his house, me and my wife and his wife, and we were getting ready to go out to eat. He was like, where do you want to go? Everywhere in Springfield sucks. I said, well, we could go to Branson and then stop by Joe Bald, go down to the old Joe Bald recreation area, and I could shoot a quick book video. He's like, hell yeah, let's go do that. That'll be creepy. So we drove down there, and the original video is like 1:40. I mean, it's not even a big video. I just shot a brief, hey, this is Joe Bald. This is, where I'm doing research for a book. And we jumped in the car after that and drove into Branson and ate dinner. I mean, we didn't go down there expecting to catch anything on film, but it was... Yeah, and then then almost a year and a half later is when Thomas spotted that. And if he hadn't pointed it out, I never would have saw it.
And Josh Jones has a good point too, because eye shine only really shows up on camera when it's at the right angle.
Yeah, it could have been like hooding its eyes to avoid the light.
Yeah.
Which, if it's got really good night vision, I can understand, because the light I used is that light that I was shining around was my duty light when I was a cop. It's a 3500 lumen light. It's bright.
Yeah.
It's a ProTac HLR5, I think is what it's called. It's right here. It was this light.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a ProTac HL5X, 3500 lumens. It's a bright son of a gun. That was my vehicle searchlight when I was a cop.
Yeah, you burn their retinas out, they can't get a gun.
Good point. No Continental 7 says, in person, it's beyond terrifying. Mag always sharing my experience in 2006 on the Nyack River this weekend with DA, so tune in. Yeah, Non-Comp is the guy that had the encounter I was talking about earlier. I want to get him on Saturday so he can tell his encounter. It's really good.
That'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so if anybody's got any questions about the video or comments, I'd love to hear them.
You mind if I send it to one of my buddies who's big on Dogman?
Dude, I don't mind a bit. I sent it to Nick Valente from the North American Dogman Project, and he said he was convinced it was a Type 3 Dogman.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll send it to my buddy. I want to see what he says.
Do you want to you can just download it off my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I pulled up those links in the background.
Okay,
already.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I would love to hear what they think.
DA, to the uninitiated, what is a Type 3 Dogman? I'm not familiar with the different types.
Let me see if I got the pictures still loaded. If not, I can have them very quickly. Give me just a second.
And Non-Cop
I deleted them.
He said he saw eye shine on the flashlight sweep.
It seems like the more I look at that video, the more weird shit I see in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not the Owen Wilson. Wow.
Wow.
Owen Wilson, man. You guys should get him on the show.
I don't think he'd even respond.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow.
Hey, you gotta
What
bait
is he?
them. We got great ideas on the Marley and Me sequel. You know, Marley's actually a dog man.
Here you go. Here are the types of dog man.
All right.
Type 3. Interesting. Now, would a Sasquatch with the muzzle be anything like the Gugwe?
Yeah, the Gugwe. I would
Yeah.
think it'd be something like that. And a lot of times, I think people are confusing the two because of the snout.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the Gugwe encounters are all aggressive. I mean, when in any encounters of Gugwe you hear, there's no peaceful encounter with them. They're straight up meat eaters like polar bears.
Right.
Yeah. That's scary.
It's funny. Your book, The Lakeview Man, was the first time I've heard of those, and then I've now come across like real reports of them.
Yeah, that's actually what inspired that book, was reading some of those reports.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that in the areas where they're more aggressive, they're more likely to be Gugways.
I'd say that's probably correct. Those things, every encounter I've read about them, they've just been described as pure evil.
Yes, Gugway does translate to face eater.
Yeah. That's comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see. Anna said she sent a couple of her pictures. I've got them. Before I upload them, Anna, do I have your permission to show those on the air? Those are your pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to show them on the air if you don't want me to.
Show it, see what everyone sees.
Okay. Give me just a second to upload those.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure pepper spray would just be like seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. These are tree structures.
I don't know.
Wait, was there? Oh no, that was something else. Never mind.
I'll go back to that first one. Very interesting pictures. I don't know much about tree structures. Like Eli was saying, sometimes bushcrafter people can make those as well. So I don't know what to make of tree structures. They're interesting, but like Eli, I think the only one that you can really be indisputable is where they've ripped a tree out of the ground and shoved the other end back in. The other tree structures, it could have been natural fall, could have been deadfall, snowfall, could have pushed them down, or it could have been just somebody building a shelter for bushcraft camping. It's hard to say with those.
Bring up that second picture again.
Okay.
Because I thought I did see something.
Right. It's really hard to tell with this photograph. You know, because a person could have made that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you see the head?
Where?
Head.
Where? I'm looking for it too, and I don't see it.
I need to make it bigger now.
What general area?
Okay, well, where I thought I saw it, it's not what I'm seeing. Oh, wait. What is the long tree that goes up at an angle?
Mm-hmm.
What is that right at where the other tree, the other ones are laying across it? I don't know.
I can't tell.
But between those two small trees, it looks like they're H.
Yeah.
They're like the 1 o'clock of the peak of the structure.
Yep. At 1 o'clock at the peak of the structure. That's the best way to put it.
Okay.
But that may not be anywhere near where she wants us to look.
I was
She
thinking
says-
like all dead center. There's something dark back in that foliage behind. If you
Yeah,
looked
that's-
right under in the dead center, there's something dark in the bushes back there, but there's not enough detail to tell what it is.
Mhm.
Um,
Hmm.
Tree on right, halfway up.
Tree on right, halfway
Bring
up.
it back up.
Okay.
Because it
Tree
looks like
on
there's
right.
looks like there's a crossbar. Maybe that's not what she's talking about. Tree on right, halfway up.
Again, I have to make it bigger. Hang on. My eyes aren't good enough.
I'm not seeing it.
No.
Yeah, if we could, if Anna could edit that and circle it,
Might be
what
able to
she's
see.
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what we're looking at. Well, folks, I know Eli's got stuff he's going to have to do tonight, and we're sorry to see you go, man. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
I would
of
love to have
course.
you back on to talk about more stuff.
I'm more than happy to come back on. I will not be at this job forever, thankfully. So,
Well, let me know
You
what
know,
your buddy thinks of that video.
yeah, and maybe
Oh,
maybe I can even talk him into coming in if you guys will have him.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely.
You know, because him and I, we love the Dogman stuff. Yeah, he's a lot more
Mhm.
knowledgeable about it than I am, but you know, I feel like there's some cool stuff we should discuss.
Well, if you guys ever wanted to shoot something in the Missouri area, I could take you right to the spot where that was filmed. And there's another campground about 10 miles away from that the Army Corps of Engineers bulldozed off so you can't get into it. That I haven't been
Was
back into yet, but I really want to get in there.
Was that an event in your book, The Lakeview
No.
Man?
No. I used the Joe Baldwin, but I only found out about the other one after the book was written. The other one is called Combs Ferry. That used to have an operating marina there, and they literally came in with bulldozers and bulldozed over the entrances so you can't get a vehicle back in there.
Wow.
And
Any
considering what
explanation?
lakefront property goes for along the lake near Kimberling City, what would make them, and with between those two parks, it's probably 40 acres of prime real estate along the lake. So why did they shut that down?
Was there ever any explanation of that, DA?
Combs Ferry, I got nothing. When I started researching why they shut down Joe Bald, what I found initially said that there'd been a number of disappearances down there. And then when I went back to look for those articles again, they were gone. I couldn't track them down. I wish I'd had saved them the first time, just like printed them out, but I didn't. I found them doing research for the book on that park. And then later, when we spotted that in the video, I thought, well, I've got to get that information that could be connected to why those disappearances happened. And Steve and I both tore into it, and we could not find a single one of them. All
That's not
references were
suspicious.
gone.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
But for Combs Ferry, there's nothing. There's no explanation whatsoever why they shut Combs Ferry down.
We're not going to tell you. Don't ask. This is not a cover-up.
Right, basically.
Eli,
A buddy of
are
mine
you
told
on-
me it's still possible to get in there with a four-wheel drive, but I know there's a public fishing access just at the edge of that park, but you can't get back into the old campground. But you cannot be even in the fishing area after dark. They come in and they have a steel gate. They lock up at dusk. So you can't, if you're going to get access to that park, it's either by boat or with a good four-wheel drive. But that's a lot of lakefront property they have sealed off and won't let anybody in.
That sounds like an adventure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
it
you guys
sounds
ever
like
want to
fun.
do something Dogman in Missouri, let me know. I'll take you to both of those places.
That sounds like fun, actually. Yeah. There's a lot of places. Honestly, it would be fun to do a Dogman thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I would like to answer this one question before I go, though. Eli, are you on YouTube? from Meg Mills. Yeah, if you check out Small Town Monsters, the YouTube channel, I'm on a series called Beyond the Trail. That's the one I'm in. There's a couple of series going on that channel, so you know. And check out my podcast too. I've had DA on there.
Yes, I did.
That was our first conversation. Yeah. Cryptid Campfire. We're on YouTube as well as Spotify and other places where you find your podcast. So, you know.
Well, Eli, thank you again for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I'm more than willing to come back anytime.
Absolutely.
As long as my schedule allows.
We'll see if we can get something after the first of the year when things slow down from the delivery rush and get the holidays past us. And I'd love to have you back on and your buddy too, if you guys want to both come on.
Absolutely. Yes. I want to send him this video. I want to get his thoughts, and then maybe we'll hop on and we can discuss it even further.
That would be awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys. It was great meeting you two, Naoma and Pocket Doc.
It's good to meet you too.
Nice meeting you too, Eli.
All right.
All right, Eli. Thank you for coming, man. Have a great night.
Yeah. You too.
Be safe.
Good night.
Will do. Good night.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Yeah, that DA, I was just looking at my Google machine, and I'm only about 726 miles from you.
That's not too bad.
No, I could put Lucy in high gear and get out there pretty quick in about 11 hours.
It's not too bad.
No, that'd be a day trip. That would actually be a really fun field trip to take. I'd be down for that.
Bring your 458 and I'll grab my KSG and we'll go check out that campground.
Yes, sir. That's a solid on that one.
I have not been back in Combs Ferry. I've looked at it on Google Maps. There's one road in and out, and that has a steel gate across it at dusk, and they literally have bulldozed berms over the entrances to it. A buddy of mine that's been out there, he said if you've got a good enough 4-wheel drive, you can still get in there, but you don't want to be in there after dark because they'll lock your ass in.
Do you think we could rent a boat and head back there?
I think we could. I think we could get in there with a boat. I really want to know what's in there. I mean, it was a working campground with a marina, and just out of the blue, they shut it down. Not long after they shut down Joe Bald.
Yeah, I'm down like a rodeo clown on that one, man. That would
there we go.
That would be fun. I mean, that'd be a really good. I mean, how else are you going to get more evidence, possibly, of why they shut it down? Just curious.
Exactly.
I get emails there. Was it Neoma Finn, NEOMAFINN @gmail.com? I get emails there. Got several today.
You might have done the thing I'm guilty of. I always type Neoma in as NOE, Noma.
Noema. It's a weird name anyway, so I expect that stuff. Cool thing is there's no other Neoma Finns out there that I know of. There might be one or two, but I don't know.
Sorry, I was forwarding those 2 pictures that Anna sent us to Josh so he can try to enhance them. He's my photo enhancement guy.
I'd be curious to see that because I didn't know where exactly she was talking about. I was thinking like the same thing the Alma said, right below that, those 2 trees with a crossbar right below there.
Yeah. She said that the light is not the sun, and there's a head right below the light, and there's 3 reptiles in that.
Well, let's take a look.
Okie dokie.
Bring it back up.
3 reptiles.
That light is not the sun, and there's a head right below the light. Okay. Looking at the light. Look into the light.
I see what she's talking about
Don't
now.
go into the light.
So right below that bright light, between that far right tree,
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock below that, it does look somewhat like a face or a head.
Yeah, but I think that might be a little bit of pareidolia.
Yeah. Little camera artifact there. I don't want to see any reptiles. If she can see reptiles, that's good for her. I hate snakes.
Yeah, I suffer from reptile dysfunction. I get freaked out around reptiles.
Nope.
I think she was referring to alien reptiles, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think...
Anything cold-blooded, I'm not a fan of. That's for sure.
Oh, you
That's
don't
a
like
fact.
me?
I have an irrational fear of snakes. I am absolutely terrified of snakes. 100%.
I feel the same way about spiders.
My
I'm a
wife
firm
does
believer
too.
there's only two kinds of snakes in this world. There's the kind of snake that'll kill you, and the kind of snake that'll make you kill yourself trying to get away from it.
100%. And in my book, the only good one's a dead one, man. But Naoma, my wife's, and she's the same way with spiders. She said, "You take care of the spiders, I'll take care of the snakes." I'm like, "That's solid deal, shield maiden."
That, you know, my brother believed there was only one kind of snake, cobra. All snakes are cobras. Yeah.
They're all cobras.
Yep. I asked him once. He lived down in Florida and he had a snake crawl into his family room. And I said, "Well, what kind of snake was it?" And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, "Cobra. They're all cobras."
They're all cobras.
Yeah. Meg, it just came through. So anyway. Yep.
Aaron brings up a really good point. Whoever was there have known that they are really close? I mean, I don't know. Would they? Or is it one of those things like we were talking about earlier? You may not see them, but they'll see you. You may not recognize it till after you have, just like you at Joe Ball, DA. You know, when you filmed that quick little excerpt, you didn't know anything was there until over a year later.
Yeah. And it was one of those things that just when I did see it, it just blew my mind. I mean, I was looking at it and like I watched the video, and now I can watch the unedited version, just the full one, and I can see it now. But until it was pointed out to me, I just hadn't have a clue. But now I look at it and I'm like, oh shit, how close was that thing? Yeah. And it was close.
I mean, what would you say? Less than 50 yards from y'all?
Oh yeah, about 30, maybe 30 yards.
Yeah, it was super close. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to come out there and teach a class, as for us to take a few extra days and go do some adventuring, some field trips.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Hell yeah, it would. Anna said she sent a few more.
Send them to Josh and let him clean them up for us.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and
our eyes
those.
Are too old for that. At least mine are. Mansfield Reform. That's so funny. I love Mansfield Park. That's one of my favorite Jane Austen's books. Boy, I just went off topic, didn't I?
I almost sent it to Josh Dalton instead. He'd be looking at his video going, "What the hell? Why is he sending me this stuff?" Okay, I'm going to load the 3 that she just sent me. One of them looks like a pretty clear track. Let me get all 3 of them loaded, and I'll bring them up.
Josh Jones, I totally agree. Once I see it, I can't unsee it, but you got to point it out to me.
Let me turn off get the chat bubble out of the way. Okay. Something dark at the base of that tree, but
what am I looking at?
Kind of looks like something crouching behind that tree.
Yeah, because it doesn't match with any other foliage out there at the base of trees.
Right. It definitely looks like something's like hiding behind that tree. And then we've got some tracks. That's a pretty good size impression.
Ooh, wow.
I don't see a lot of definition to it, but it's definitely a big impression.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, yeah,
you can see an impression there too. On that one, you can kind of see definition of toes right there to the bottom, kind of low right. And then it looks like there's possibly another one up toward the center top as well.
Yeah, it's almost, you can almost see the heel strike in there.
Mm-hmm. They're not clear, but they're not clearly defined, but they're definitely something heavy step there.
Ooh.
That's the I'd already showed that one, but I want to look at it again. That one looks definitely like the ball, like the front ball of the foot.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely check it out, Meg.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Josh said he won't be able to clean them up tonight because he's at work. He said, "They won't be cleaned up tonight. I need my PC, but some of my editing tools, etc., are on the computer. But hopefully, for the next show or one in the near future, we can show them again." Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Josh is doing everything right now from his phone because he's at work. Yeah. Anna says, "See how deep in the ground it is?" Yeah, it looks like a definite heavy impression. I really want, and I know you can buy Bigfoot casts online and stuff like that. My goal is to find one of my own to cast. I want a Bigfoot cast and I want a Dogman cast. Jody Cook, the head of the North American Dogman Project, he's got some really good Dogman casts. I mean, it looks like a gigantic wolf with an elongated heel.
Wow.
Clearly, it's walking on 2 feet.
Where do they cast those, DA?
I want to say he cast those in Ohio.
As long as it wasn't in my yard, we're good.
That's pretty impressive. I'd like to see some of the casts out here in Colorado. That's something I've been thinking about. Is a Dogman cast, or I mean, even a Wendigo.
Yeah, I'd like to get a. I don't really want to get close to a Wendigo, but I would like to get one on film. Especially if I've got a snowmobile.
I was going to say, especially if there's a snowmobile nearby.
We'll take a snowmobile for bait.
Yeah, there you go.
While it's desecrating the snowmobile, we'll get out of Dodge.
We'll put the snowmobile out there with a Barry White soundtrack. Or some Marvin Gaye.
Snowmobile parked out there all provocatively.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. There you go. Yeah. I've whenever y'all come out here, man, we'll have to go do some exploring and some hunting up here in the Rockies.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really good field trip to go on as well. Have you and help Naoma and Josh. I mean, that would be Steve. Mm-hmm. Have the whole crew out here. That'd be a fun little field trip. Faux show.
I need to go out there, but I need to go see my son. He lives in Peyton.
That's where I live.
That's funny.
I knew he had to live close to it.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, I live out in Peyton. That's my zip code. Holy crap.
That's funny.
We might literally be neighbors, man.
You might be.
We very may well be. That's hilarious.
Cool.
That's good stuff.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. Well, see, all the more reason to come out here, Naoma.
Yeah.
All the more reason. That would be
my son will be thrilled to death.
Yeah. That would be a freaking hoot right there, man.
Yeah.
Well, if I can get out there
maybe
this summer.
Maybe I've driven past your house, Doc. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe so, maybe no.
Maybe so. Yeah, that would be cool. If I can get out there to see DA, we go do some stuff, and y'all come out here. That'd be a good thing. That would be a lot of fun. Angie's all about that, DA. She's like, just give me something sharp. Just give me something stabby.
I'll bring my collection of Scallywag tactical
blades. There you go.
I have a pretty good collection.
There you go.
Why don't you demonstrate one for us, DA?
I'm not going to cut my arm open.
Let's see the bounty hunter.
Let me grab it. It's down here. Where are you? There you are. This is the bounty.
Oh,
That's a limb lopper right there.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't mean tree limbs.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, they make awesome blades. Comes with a molded kydex sheath.
Cool.
I love that one.
That's a sweet blade.
I love it.
I dig that a lot.
They make amazing blades. Just absolutely amazing. That's the only big one that I got close to hand. The others are kind of on a shelf over that direction a little ways. So otherwise I'd grab a couple.
Man, those things are beautiful.
You are so beautiful. I'm sorry. Dixie Cryptid, gotta love him.
Folks, I want to do a couple quick plugs real quick. I want to mention my buddy Adam, who is now doing book covers. So any of you out there, authors, are looking for a book cover, talk to Adam. You can contact him at yournewbookcover@gmail.com. $50 a cover. He does really good work, and he gets it done quickly too. And he'll work with you to get your cover exactly the way you want it. And he's doing a lot of my covers right now too. So he did the one you see in the foreground and this one, which is the same one, but it's the full cover. But Adam does great work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's some beautiful artwork too.
You are
And
so
we can't forget to plug Dark Angel Medical as well.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. I'm going to play a quick commercial for y'all.
Everybody, this is Kerry Pocket Doc Davis from Dark Angel Medical, and you are listening to DA Ex Machina with DA Roberts. You may recognize me or some of my products from Dark Angel Medical in some of the Apex Predator, Lakeview Man, and Wild Hunt books, and you can get those products at www.darkangelmedical.com, along with training classes on how to use those products and save a life. Shoot us an email at info@darkangelmedical.com and be the difference.
I hate
And
seeing
if you go to,
I
myself.
love that commercial.
I
if
hate
you
seeing
go to Dark
myself.
Angel Medical, you did great, man. That's awesome. If you go to darkangelmedical.com, you can use the discount code Cryptid25 for 25% off your purchase, and that is exclusive for those of us here at the DAX Machina show. So you guys check that out and make sure you let Doc know that you came there from here. So
And
definitely check that out.
If you order one of the new spear kits, and you right in there, you put in your Cryptid25 coupon code at checkout, put in their Team Odin patch, and there it is right there. I will personally throw a Team Odin patch on your kit. That's a new special purpose emergency aid rig, also known as the spear. So you can be at the tip of the spear with Dark Angel Medical.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, it took a lot of whiskey to think of that name, Naoma. I ain't going to lie.
Gotta be good for something.
That's right.
Oops, I'm sorry, I'm drumming again. My bad.
Josh says, I want to update that commercial with Spear Odin kits in the pic. Heck yeah.
I will do that this weekend, sir. Gladly.
I like the commercial the way it is. I got it memorized.
I think what Josh was saying is when the commercial comes up on the sides, it's got my books, and then it's got the dark kit. I think he's going to replace the dark kit with the spear kit.
Man, it's only the best.
Just teasing.
It's only the best med kit out there. Just saying.
And it's the kit for life guarantee. You save a life with that kit, Dark Angel Medical will resupply that kit for free.
And
Got to document it.
Hey, can I give y'all a couple of instances I just got this past
Absolutely, man.
week? Man, there was a police officer in Michigan who did not have tourniquets issued to him. He bought some tourniquets from us along with his kit, and he used it to a gentleman who attempted suicide this past week. He used all the tourniquets he had to save this gentleman's life, which is pretty cool. The guy was committed. He had cut himself in the neck, the wrists, and the femorals, and the femorals and one of the arms where they had to tourniquet off. And a Arizona state police officer, a trooper out of Arizona, was on a mutual aid call to Yavapai County to a subject shot 8 times in the thoracic area. 8.
Damn.
Ocho. He used all the chest seals he had in our kit and the kit and other kits he had bought from us and stabilized the casualty. And they air vac him out. And a week later, he's still alive.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty freaking cool, man.
That is awesome.
Pretty
Truly.
freaking cool. Yeah.
Meg Mills says, DA, what's on your cap? I'll take that off and show you.
Scallywag.
That is a Scallywag tactical hat. I have another one of the hats like this that has never been worn that we will be giving away probably Saturday night. And possibly this as well.
And we can do another one of these too, DA.
You want to do that Saturday? You want to do it now?
We can do it whenever you want to, brother. Whatever's good for you. I'm okay.
Well, chat's still pretty active. Josh, do you want to run a Nightbot giveaway for a Dark Angel medical hat? See if Josh is still around, or I can do it.
He was talking about a research group. So
heck yeah. Sal Paso says, do it now. Do it now.
Sal, you've been winning a lot here lately, brother. Sal's on a winning streak.
Yeah, he is.
Sal, let's go to the boat.
Josh is still in the chat. Let me know when you're ready to run that. The chat's been pretty active. Everybody, let's say you've got the next 2 minutes to even monkey roll the key. Just type any gibberish you want. Just make sure you're active in the YouTube chat so Nightbot will notice you're there. And roll that keyboard, say howdy, say hi, say bliggity blah, whatever you want to say. But as long as you're active in the chat within the last 15 minutes, Nightbot will notice you, and we will. Sal's one of the sketch that we gave away on the night. We had the guys from Equinox Comics on. He's won a gift card. So yeah, Sal is on the roll.
Yeah, that sketch was awesome too, man.
Oh yeah, Johnny's talented. Oh, he's a very talented dude.
Rachel Strand is a hot vampire. Just saying.
Those comics are awesome.
50 states in less than a minute, guys.
Yeah, they are. I already ordered those comics, so I'm looking forward to getting them.
Meg Mule says, hello, pick me.
I wonder if you get like extra what are they called? Entries? If you post extra.
I don't know. Nightbot's pretty random, so I don't know how it does. Anna says, I'm 66, not too active, but here I never give up. As long as you're commenting in the chat room, you've got a shot at it.
and
Mark Napier says Nightbot hates me.
Nightbot hates me.
Mark, I'll see if I can talk Doc into getting you a hat. Mark's a buddy of mine.
DA knows the guy, Mark.
I know a guy.
DA knows the guy. I'm always happy.
Sal says that sketch is framed and up in my studio. Awesome.
Heck yeah, man. That's an awesome sketch he did that night.
Yeah, and he did it just while he was sitting there talking to us.
Amazing.
Holy crap.
I know. I couldn't draw a stick figure in that time.
No kidding.
Hey, I still want to shoot me his contact info, DA. I want to talk to him offline about doing a St. Michael.
Johnny's?
Yeah,
okay.
Johnny. Yeah, please, sir.
Okay. I will Josh, whenever you're ready, you want to roll that Nightbot.
Little drum roll. I can draw unemployment. I like that, Anna. I can draw unemployment.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I'm so poor I can't pay attention.
Ain't that the truth, sister?
Yeah, I don't like being poor.
Oh, Anna won it.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting here staring at it, and I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, that's Nightbot.
God dang it. I keep trying to click on it and it disappears. There we go. Anna won the giveaway. She's going to get a Dark Angel Medical hat, courtesy of darkangelmedical.com. And our good buddy here, Carrie Pocket Doc Davis.
Yay.
The reason why they call him Pocket Doc is he's actually hobbit sized, and you can just carry him around in one of those baby Bjorns.
I'm fun sized. Thank you very much.
like the little Snickers, fun sized.
Exactly.
I like fun-sized men. They make me feel tall and gangly. No, that's not the word. Tall. And there's a word that goes with that, but
yeah.
So yeah.
My wife is only 5'1", and I call her Beansy because I'm 5 inches taller than her. So why the hell not? So, yeah.
Damn it, you're still 2 inches taller than I am.
Hey, in the middle, in like the 17th century, I'd have been pretty tall.
You would have been exactly average in the 13th century.
And I'm okay with that.
5'6" was the average height man in the 13th century.
Anna, I just responded to you in the chat. If you will contact Carrie at that email address that I just shared in the chat, he will get that out to you.
Yeah, just need your mailing address, and we'll shoot it out to you. Merry Christmas.
Or Carrie Mismas.
And Anna, ignore Nightbot. I don't know why the hell Nightbot says half the stuff it says. What does this even mean? Looks like your last year's model. Stop spamming. Nightbot's an idiot.
Nightbot's just hateful.
Nightbot's getting sassy. Man. Josh, you need to rein Nightbot in. Nightbot's getting an attitude.
Man, Nightbot's just, as my mama would say, that's just mean and ugly. Good Lord.
Oh.
Nightbot's kind of an asshole.
Yeah. As Doc Holliday said, I abhor ugliness.
Oh, that is just too funny.
Stupid Nightbot. Jeez.
Oh, damn it, Nightbot. What's wrong with you? Damn it, Nightbot. Get them panties off your head.
Nightbot's been into the mead, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Good Lord. He's been in the medicinal herbs, I think. I don't know. Golly.
Josh says if you say too many chats too quickly, it'll delete all of your chat messages. It thinks you're a spammer.
Wow.
But yet it continually lets through those ones that we have to delete ourselves.
Oh my God, I know, man.
So Nightbot's ignoring the actual spammers and going after people that are just part of the conversation.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, the sexy time spammers, I like to call them.
Definitely, Josh. Do Doc Holliday quotes. That would be fantastic. And I don't even mean to sound sarcastic. I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm your Huckleberry.
I got all the Doc Holliday quotes. I have 2 kits, one for each of you.
Oh shoot. All righty.
Well, Anna, congratulations. You joined us for the first time tonight and you won a Dark Angel Medical hat. That's pretty cool.
Ooh. That didn't mean to sound sarcastic either. When I get tired, everything sounds sarcastic that comes out of my mouth. I don't know what the heck that's about. I guess my subconscious is a bit of an attitude.
Well, folks, we are coming up on midnight, and I think we're going to start winding things down. I want to get a little bit of writing in before I have to go to bed. I got to get up early, and we're going to go look at vehicles, hopefully to replace that vehicle that we lost. So keep your fingers crossed for me, and send some positive energy our direction. We need some good luck, because it has been a shitty month and a half, I can tell you that. So hopefully it'll get better.
My
It makes
husband
us almost 1 a.m. there.
My
What's
husband
that?
announced that he is retiring on January 14th.
Nice.
Everything got better for me when he said that, because I get
Good.
tired of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Mondays and Thursdays.
Good for him.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I want to thank Eli Watson for joining us tonight from Small Town Monsters. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out Small Town Monsters, go check out their YouTube channel. There's a ton of documentaries on there, and you're gonna love them. They've got some fantastic videos on there. They've gone to some really remote places to get footage, and they're just really got a lot of good information, and they're great videos. Small Town Monsters is quickly becoming one of my favorite go-to places.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Check them out. Hey, DA, I've got a funny cryptid Doc Holiday thing for you.
All right.
I was thinking about this earlier. You're getting the dog man or the Googways coming at Doc Holiday, and Doc Holiday goes, I will not be pawed at. Thank you very much.
I like that.
I got one for each of you.
Yes, I got one for each of you.
Okay.
Well, everybody, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for being here tonight. We appreciate you guys so much. Anna, again, congratulations on the hat. Anna says she sent you the email. I appreciate you guys being here. Doc, brother, thank you for joining us. It's always a hoot.
Thank you, brother.
Naoma, thank you for being here. You are awesome.
We're all awesome here, dude.
Don't forget to check out. Sorry, Doc, go ahead.
That's all right. Feel better, Naoma.
Oh, I will as soon as I get a full night's sleeping.
Don't forget to check out Naoma's channel on YouTube, and check out Dixie Cryptid and the What If It's True podcasts. And if you have not liked and subscribed to our channel, please do so. Share the video with your friends that you know that like this kind of content, because it does help the channel to grow. And we're hoping we can continue to expand the channel and therefore expand our viewers, and hopefully share more about my books with more people. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody joining us. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. We got Christmas coming up and New Year's right behind it. It's a crazy time to be in the malls and the stores. Thankfully, we did most of our shopping on Amazon this year, so we avoided all of those traps. But traffic is dangerous. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times we were cut off today. It's just, people are crazy. It's a crazy time of year. It's hectic. It's stressful. And we want you all to be safe. We want you guys to have the best holiday possible, and for you to continue joining us here, where we can sit and talk and laugh and make bad movie quotes and talk about cryptids and books and everything in between. So thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are the absolute best. And again, our thoughts and prayers with everybody that was affected by the tornadoes that hit the Midwest. Hopefully tonight's storms will not be nearly as bad. I hope we don't have any more tornado touchdowns, and I hope everybody out there stays safe and has a wonderful holiday season. And thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for joining us. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you guys, and we thoroughly enjoy doing it. So I'll see you guys on Saturday night. I haven't got the show up posted yet because I just hadn't gotten around to programming it on Restream. But joining us at the normal time on Saturday night, we'll be having the Alaskan Bigfoot encounter on the air. We'll also be discussing a number of other creepy things, and one of the things I want to go into is I'd like to talk about horror films that are actually based on real stories. So that's something we're going to explore a little bit on Saturday as well. So bone up on your movie trivia, and especially on movies that are based on true stories. And we'll be talking about those coming up soon and on Saturday night. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you guys so much for being part of the family here. You guys have a great night. I think we lost Naoma. She went to sleep while I was blabbing.
I'm not dead. No, I'm listening.
I bordered tears.
She turned into
No,
a
I'm
moose.
listening. I was just closing my eyes because it hears better that way.
I'm not dead
I
yet.
bored her to death.
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead.
Oh,
I'm
shut
not
up. You was
dead
stone
yet.
dead in a moment. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you guys for joining us. See you on Saturday.
Thank you for joining us tonight on DAX Machina. If you ever have an encounter of your own that you wish to discuss, contact us at daroberts@daroberts.net. You can remain completely anonymous if you wish. Pull your covers up tight and keep a nightlight burning bright. Oh, and did you forget to lock your doors?